इंग्लैंड वगैरह बैटिंग के वास्ते हम कोशिश करूँ ताकि मैच शेयर को लाइव स्कोर और लाइव तबसरा गुरु चूक दा मैच गटी दुआ कोई सी और
but Joss is one of the greatest wide wickets for England, so we're trying to go on a bang for him. Trying to put in a good performance for him, and then who knows, Fuelers boy potentially spawn a few parties in South Africa.
When you reflect on the campaign, the 2 losses to Australia and Afghanistan, what are some of the areas you think as a team you'd like to work on?
I actually don't think that we're that far away. I think potentially a couple of small margins could go our way. I think just at times you get on a sort of run of losing games, it's hard to get out of that run. Same with winning games, you sort of breeze that confidence to keep going out and winning them. So we're not too far away. I think potentially my sort of wicket the other day potentially sort of put that nail in the coffin a little bit. Just unfortunately trying to hit the gap and just got a bit too much of it and got caught along on. So the idea was there to just try and take it deep as much as I can, and just didn't quite go away, and unfortunately that didn't quite get us over the line.
You had 2 of your games in Lahore, playing here for the first time in Karachi. How different are you expecting the conditions to be?
Yeah, it's a bit hot at the start. I'm actually looking at the wicket. I didn't look at the wicket yesterday, so I think it's spun a bit more here in general. So yeah, it might be a bit more spin, but yeah, generally just try and sort of play the same sort of ethos we have and try and take the game on a little bit and see where we get to.
Play well today.
Cheers, thank you.
Did you agree just a little bit away from a winning performance from England?
Not if you look at it over a 2-year period. England are losing more games than they're winning. I think they've lost like 18 out of the last 25. So over a prolonged period, they've been way short of where they need to be. In this tournament, they've not been that far away. They've actually done a lot of good things. They put a good score on the board against Australia. They were close to chasing down the target against Afghanistan. So I think you can argue in the 2 games that we've seen, they've not been that far away. But the bigger picture, England have got a lot to do.
South Africa 1 foot in the door for the Champions Trophy semi-finals. It's not a must-win game, but you want to put in your best performance.
Absolutely. You have to play these games fully committed. You can't go in half committed, otherwise you'll find yourself potentially getting an injury. England have got some serious fast bowlers, so you don't want to break a finger because you're not quite there. And South Africa want to use this as not a dress rehearsal, but to spend some time on the park too. They haven't played for 8 days, so they want to find their best cricket coming into a semi-final. And they'll certainly want to do that today without Temba Bavuma today. So Markham's going to have to lead them very, very well.
He certainly does have to. Michael Atherton, Dale Steyn, thank you very much. It's building up to be a wonderful affair here. Match 11 of the ICC Champions Trophy. And here comes Boom Boom Afridi, an icon of Pakistan cricket. And he walks out the ICC Champions Trophy here at the National Stadium. What a star he's been in international cricket. And he certainly reinvented the white ball game. We'll take a short break. We'll be back with the national anthem and live action after this.
Sending money beyond your home ground? Whether it's for the folks back home, making that dream purchase. Special offers for new online customers. Wherever you're sending money, send it with Western Union.
I don't play basketball for the money, the fame. I only play because I wanted to change my family's life.
With the global pandemic, Cirque du Soleil is laying off more than 3,400 workers.
Tell the world we are back.
We've got 8 weeks till opening night.
Hungry Jack's Mega Feast. Mega value. 2 Whopper cheese, 2 cheeseburgers, 2 chicken royale, 4 small chips, 4 small drinks, plus 3 chicken tenders for only $39.95. Only at Hungry Jack's.
Ready? I must recognize when it is time to end my competitive career. To the game of tennis, I love you and will never leave you.
What are you up to?
Just about to double our network.
Wow.
Double coverage activated.
for network coverage. Make your move to Vodafone.
The Cooper fermenter. What do you feel? It's called obsession. Cooper, inspiring from Barcelona.
Cricket is a game of small margins. You can feel like you're on top, and it can flip in a second.
There's no bigger rivals than India and England. If you can stand up on this stage, you stood up when the whole world was watching.
National Stadium, Karachi, the venue for this Group B clash between South Africa and England. The teams arrived in plenty of time, great facilities here in Karachi, the third game of this tournament at this venue. Both sides have won batting first. It is Temba Bavuma who's not captain today, he's ill. And Josh Buttler who's captaining England for the last time in ODI and white ball cricket. Markram won the toss, lost the toss, and England said we will have a bat first. It is South Africa against England. It is Group B. It is to find out who joins Australia, New Zealand and India in the semi-finals. Why does this game still matter? Because of that rain last night in Lahore. South Africa have 3, Afghanistan has 3. Net run rate is hugely in favour of South Africa. Australia have qualified. South Africa, England would need to beat them by 207 runs or more to do Afghanistan a favour. South Africans have made the journey. There's not many in, but it is hot, it is humid. All the rain of Rawalpindi and Lahore has not made its way down south, thankfully. So a couple of enforced changes for South Africa, one for England, who had been injured in that last game. They are out of the tournament, they go home tomorrow. Good pitch. Generally in the games here, batting first the option, and it just spins maybe. The second innings chasing. Tomorrow is New Zealand against India in Dubai to see who comes top of that group. This group is just to find out who goes through with Australia to those semi-finals. Players are ready, flag bearers are ready. Historic battle between these two nations. You look back on the stats, there's not much between them, either recently or in the history of white ball cricket. Pretty much neck and neck. McCullum will want to finish well for his skipper, Josh Buttler, announcing his resignation late yesterday. Today would be his last game as England's white ball captain. Officials making their way out. Great to see Shahid Reedy here earlier, carrying that trophy out. winning this game and topping the group. That's got to be their primary focus. England trying to end well. Okay, the officials are ready, the players are lined up, so it's time for the national anthems of both nations.
Two
proud cricketing nations singing the anthems passionately. Nice to see Marco Jansen just standing tall above the rest of his team, as per usual. Some sickness in the camp with South Africa. A couple of their players are ill, so they've had to just shuffle the pack a bit. England, that injury to Mark Wood. Another injury to Mark Wood. They brought in Saqib Mahmood. Slingy, skiddy action. Emotional Joss Buttler press conference last night. It was supposed to be Joe Root that was doing the press, but Buttler walked in and he announced to the world that this would be his last game as England's white ball captain. Words in the huddle from Markram to his team. That is the England team. Played lost to Australia, and then to Afghanistan. Both games in Lahore. They've made the journey down to Karachi. Not changed much apart from the enforced change of Mahmood coming in for Mark Wood. Sean, what do you make of the two changes for South Africa and the batting lineup?
Yeah, a couple of forced ones. So obviously Aidan Markham, who is the South African T20 captain, takes over at the helms at the top of the the tree, and you've got Tristan Stubbs coming in at #1, which is a big surprise for me. He's never opened the batting in list A cricket, and normally when he plays for South Africa, we've sometimes seen him at 3, but invariably he comes down 4, 5 or 6. So that'll be a big challenge for him at the top, and I think maybe they don't want to fiddle with the order as the tournament goes on. But it's obviously not ideal that Temba Bavuma's not missing, and then obviously Tony DeZorzi as well, who's got the sickness, he misses out.
And Ramiz, what do you make of conditions generally here in Karachi in this tournament?
We know it's a very fast outfield. We know it's a good, decent batting surface. The grass has been taken off just a little when you compare it to the first game that was played here. I think it was New Zealand and Afghanistan, South Africa and Afghanistan. So conditions look excellent for batting. But what about England? How they're feeling? I think that's really a point for discussion, because when you're knocked out of the tournament, you've got to lift yourself up. And how difficult can that be? We've all been there. I guess you've got to look after yourself more than the team at this stage for individual prowess to come through.
Yeah, and to show you're learning, really. There's a lot of talent in this side. Josh Butler said that, his defeat in the last game. He said there's talent in that dressing room, but the stats have gone in the wrong direction. So if you've got talent and you're not winning, it's got to come down to what you're thinking about the game and how you're playing it. So convert talent into runs, wickets and wins. It's all that counts. Phil Salt has had some starts of late. Gets them off to a flyer. Duckett has been excellent at the top of the order. Revelation in both white ball and test match cricket. He's played brilliantly. A little bit surprising than pick Rayan Ahmed. We'll find another spin option. Rely heavily on Adil Rashid on the ground here that Rayan Ahmed made his debut in test match cricket. Took a test for Fifer, but they stuck with the same balance to their side. It will be the tall Marco Jansen.
He's brought a bit more control to his bowling at the top of the order. He's in good touch, particularly in the SA20, and brought it into this one-day arena as well, and can get the ball to shape nicely into the right-handers in particular on his day.
Yeah, it's the perfect breeze as well. If you look at the flags in the distance at the university end, there's a perfect breeze for Jansen. Will he get it swinging into the right-hander Salt? Yes, just.
So a change of wicketkeeper for South Africa. Ryan Rickleton kept in the last encounter. And now that Hendrik Klaasen is back into the team, he'll take over the glove work.
Tough weather to pick that job. 29, 30 degrees. It's going to be very, very warm.
Not as bad as that encounter in Mumbai. And it was Klaasen with the bat with a magnificent 100. Up and over. That is how Phil Salt plays. Any width and he'll go after it. First boundary for England.
He saw a little bit of width and he's not going to stop himself. Just got to adjust your batting map on a surface like this. You're better off really playing with the full face of the plate. Look for that mid-on and mid-off shots, but he plays that quite nicely. The slash over cover.
Yeah, just watching Norway, he's scuffing the crease because he would have felt like his foot slid. Still managed to get the contact he was after. South Africa started with the 2 slips, deciding already after 2 deliveries to take one of those out. The first one looked like it wanted to shape back in, but then headed across the right hand and offered up some width second time round from Jansen.
Maybe they feel they'll get a catch in the ring, as you sometimes do with Phil Salt. A wide given.
How many times you see this? 4 followed by another big shot. The pressure is relentless on bowlers, and especially on a surface like this. You've got to bowl within the stumps, hit that mark, that length mark, and look to keep the ball within the stumps.
And again.
I'm not so sure that this is intentional, Nat. I think Jansen would be wanting to shape it back like we saw in the first delivery of the over. And then all of a sudden he's starting to push everything across, and he has this odd issue where his wrist doesn't quite get into the right position and he offers upwards. And you'd be wanting to straighten things up because Salt thrives on width.
Down the pitch, shoveled and just half a hand maybe.
Yeah, it was Van der Dussen who tried to launch himself and take the catch, and there's an example of how quick this outfield is. The contact wasn't anywhere near really good. It was almost off the splice of the bat, was in the air for a bit of an eternity. Uses his feet, gets down the wicket, and it's hit with no power. Van der Dussen almost got his right hand to it. And once it beats just inner field, you do not track it down, even a ball that's not gone with much pace.
Well, you feel with England not being able to qualify, Brendan McCullum spoke to him about releasing the handbrake. They go hard anyway. You feel England have got nothing to lose. And they're going to play even more shots.
That does free you up. But England doesn't need freeing up. They're already there, actually. They like to bash the bowling in the first 10 overs or so. That's how they play. In fact, go hard right till the end. Rodney Tucker is in, standing in his 107th ODI. Hassan Raza from Pakistan, from Lahore, standing in his 59th ODI.
Short ball, it's gone straight up. Van der Dussen at mid-wicket. 2 boundaries and a wicket in the first over. Salt's gone.
Yeah, that's been really pleasing for Marco Jansen. I don't think his rhythm is anywhere near he wanted it for that first over. He thought he might have a wicket earlier on in the over where it was chipped. Van der Dussen launched himself, couldn't take hold of that one. But this is an easy catch for Van der Dussen. The extra bounce, he so often does people with his extra bounce. He's a hell of a tall fella. And an easy catch. Maybe just had to worry a little bit about the sunshine, did Van der Dussen. But after a fast start, full Salt has thrown it away again. South Africa have the breakthrough in the first over. England 9 for 1.
Jamie Smith comes in at number 3. It's a role he's not done much. He's pretty much started it in this tournament. I think he did it once in list day cricket before for Surrey a very long time ago. Some have argued that Buttler should come in higher, maybe move Root to 3, Buttler 4, but England see it differently. It's going to be the talented Jamie Smith at 3. And the supremely talented Kagiso Rabada with the new ball. Correction, Ngidi with the new ball. 2 slips, the third man, and a squarish fine leg. Well, the first over sort of summed up England, really, and their batting, a couple of boundaries, and then a wicket.
Gone are the days where you assess the pitch conditions and then launch. Yeah, very tall and a good bouncer. Hit the splice of the blade and it was easy catch at short mid-wicket.
Nicely shoveled. Just that bottom hand came through, whipped it away. 3 boundaries already.
Such good touch, isn't he, now? So he's not even thinking of how he's going to edge anything or maybe how he might be got out. He's just watching ball and thinking, is there an opportunity to score? That one just slides onto somewhere near middle and leg stump. And he's so strong square of that wicket. Just flicks it on his way and his form continues.
Just wondering why 2 slips in place. So you've got to bowl that off-stump line, maybe a little wider outside that off-stump to engage those 2 men. And we know that he's now pretty decent playing the ball in that D area through mid-off and mid-on. His century was pretty special because his batting map was a little different.
Well, they heard you, Ramiz. The second slip has come out and just reinforced the ring on the offside.
What he looks to do initially is try and shape it into left-handers, and if he does find that swing, then he tries to bring LBW into the equation. If nothing happens, he'll often go around the wicket to left-handers, and then also mix it up with that slow ball that he possesses. There's Duckett's tournament. Wow, 207. He has been head and shoulders above most on offer. Wonderful innings. Big one. What is it, 170? 60?
Again, this time all along the ground, through square leg, 4 more.
Yeah, half a flick into the vacant area on the pads. Anything on the pads will go. He's trying to readjust the field here, I think. But he's off to a magnificent start. Yeah, just a flick of the wrist, nothing more than that. On the pads, easy ball to dispatch to the fence.
Particularly when you're in such good touch like he is. There's going to be a change of field, no surprise. A little bit of protection for Ulungi. Just after the 4 deliveries, he's offered up 2 boundaries in that area.
Square leg goes deep now onto the boundary. Fine leg comes up.
Change of mindset. Also, Jamie Smith on strike, and South Africa go back to the 2 slips in place, thinking they can maybe use the bounce of this Australian soil to might be able to carry through to the cordon if they do find the edge. Interesting to see if Lungi can get the ball to shape away to the right hand. And we talked about the breeze for Janssen. The same breeze is prevalent and going to be helping Ngidi shape it to the righty.
That's the ball. Right-hander, I think he's enjoyed having the right-hander on strike. Good end to the over, 18 for 1. Janssen might shape it a fraction more to the left-handed Duckett. Slightly easier as a left armour. And have to push it across and swing it back in. You can just start it on that line. There is 1 slip. Obviously, to Duckett, he can't afford to get wide.
Yeah, he's taken the slip out. Often he gets a lot of people caught at backward point. You'll notice the backward point is quite fine. You're not going to get him caught there if you hit it down the leg side.
It's fair to say that haven't quite, in 2 and a bit overs, got their line right, either of the opening bowlers. Pollock, you've been here already in this tournament. How does this compare to the South Africa-Afghanistan game?
Yeah, there was a little bit of concern. We weren't quite sure how that first surface was going to play, but there's less grass in this one and it looks even flatter. So I think it should be a good surface all round as the game goes on, just to see how much spin is extracted.
Eventful first over, dot 4, dot wicket. And the dots weren't exactly quiet. Slightly the angle of the left arm going across Salt, he has to fetch it. Edged, didn't carry. don't think the keeper could have got across.
Yeah, it was actually a good take in the end by Mould, but as you say, Nash doesn't carry. Put it with the one hand. It's one of those ones as a keeper, it looks like it's going to start down leg side, and you can't really trust that it's going to come to the offside. Just dropped short. That's why Klaasen couldn't get into the position where he's going to launch his body. I don't think even if he went, he would have got close.
No, it's too wide. Slip's almost a second slip. Oh, same again, surely. Same again, this time mid-on. Would you believe it? The left armer going across the right-hander, pulled up in the air. It is a replay of the first wicket.
Yeah, the only change is it's the captain, Aidan Markham, who takes the catch. It's that angle. It's the bounce, the steep bounce, and the angle going across the right-handers. As the ball's released, the ball pitches, you think that's easy to pick up and take over the leg side. But by the time the ball gets to you, it's probably half a metre further on the offside, and the extra bounce is hard to control. You can't roll your wrists. Both balls popped up in the air. South Africa will be ecstatic. Lost the toss, asked to bowl first. They picked up their second. Smith goes without scoring, 20 for 2.
Sending money beyond your home ground? Whether it's for the folks back home, making that dream purchase. Special offers for new online customers. Wherever you're sending money, send it with Western Union.
Sauron needs not armies, but rings.
Fight with me. Fight with us,
Route on the back of another international 100 up in Lahore in a losing cause, comes in at number 4. England 20 for 2. Jansen has 2.
The sounds of Los Lapi, a good old Afrikaans song, is being played out here in Pakistan. In the background. Yeah, that song being played in the subcontinent, but it's the South African songs that have been played because they've started off so well.
There is excellent bowling because England want to get on with it, with every length, with every delivery, and certainly when the ball is short, they're going to take that on as well. So 2 wickets going down to that shorter length. Gets it to bounce on any surface, just the right angle, and they're a little cramped, not back and across it. Don't go back and across these days to play the pull shot. It's usually off the front foot. Easy catch at mid-on.
Subtle change in the field. There's a fifth slip in. Not so much for the catch. It is for the rundown that the likes of Williamson and Root play, just to stop the single.
Yeah, someone like Jacques Callis was so prolific at getting his 50-over innings off to a running start, but just nudging it in that area. There's not a lot of teams who put fielders to prevent it. They always used to hold in other places, but it's an invaluable field for a man who's got those soft hands and just the ability to knock normal the length deliveries down to third man. That kind of delivery can almost easily be run there. Doesn't get it away. 3 completed, 20 for 2. That's the form 2, Nat. So they're going to have to step up to the equation. The 2 of them are being good touch. They're in a bit of a traffic jam.
Experiment with Jamie Smith at 3 hasn't worked. Duck for him. No scores in the previous games. Salt gone cheaply. Butler and Livingstone to come in that middle order. It's these 2 that played so well in the last game that have to play well again for England. So Root went a long time without 100 in this format, but his 17th ODI 100 came up in the last game of war against Afghanistan. Great player, his spin. Dot ball percentage very, very low. And finds the boundary. Gone fine. Little bit of shape there.
He bounces on anything that is loose, according to his batting manual. That's not the first time that he's flicked the ball away towards the leg side. So what is happening here? He's trying to get that ball back into the stumps on the pads. Finally up in the circle, so an easy boundary.
Yeah, it hasn't been a good start by Lungi, unfortunately. His first 8 deliveries, he's offered up 3. If you had to have a look at a beehive, you'd see off stump, hardly anything outside that area. It's more been down middle and leg stump, and even further outside. Duckett in the form he's in, he's saying, thank you very much. If you want to get me off to a fast start, just keep feeding me there. As I said, he's going to come around. As soon as he doesn't feel like he's in shape.
Yeah, he's told the batter that he's coming around. I think he's just told the fielder that he's gone finer, and the umpire thought that he said he's going to go around the wicket. He's actually going to stay over. Gets through. This is a very quick outfield. It's just been tapped. And it goes all the way to the boundary, but the fielder does well. Oh no, run out chance.
He didn't do well, and it was very naughty from Lungi Ngidi. He bowled the delivery and he stayed 5 meters down. He didn't go back anywhere near the stumps, and it was great awareness by Tristan Stubbs. He had to hurtle after the delivery. Once he picked it up, he assessed, and Duckett was labouring. He didn't go quickly for the initial run. He was quite slow to go. Root was convinced they would get through, and he threw to the right end. Have a look how far Duckett is short. If anyone had been there to take it, Markham came in late decision. But if someone was standing by the stumps, England were 3 down.
Yep, had to be the bowler. Markham would have been thinking of backing up, but it was very, very good game awareness from Stubbs, not from Duckett.
Not from Ngidi also. He had to really get behind the stumps. Not great game awareness, as they say.
Thanks. Try and work out what went wrong with the running. First, because he was off the back foot, he would have set off slower than Root. He has to see if the ball gets past, so he's already maybe 3 or 4 yards behind Root. Bowler's not happy with the misfield. So he didn't move, and if he had moved, England would be 3 down. Skipper said, where were you, Lungi? Why weren't you at the stumps? Flashed. 1 bounce down to third man.
He's definitely enjoying bowling to the right-handers more. You can see he's getting some shape. There's a bit more movement to work with. That's one be surprised.
Don't forget
Joe Root maybe by the amount of bounce. Have a look at the running. There's Lungi. That's where he stopped. He's complaining. But now he doesn't move. Not a step anywhere near. Brilliant from Stubbs. Got to give him credit because he worked out what was the right end to throw to. Maybe Markham had taken it cleanly and maybe get it onto the stumps. There still would have been a chance. But if someone was standing there, definitely another wicket.
Wait on! 28 for 2. top of the tree as far as run getting goes in this tournament. Two very good pitches in Lahore. Top of the order as well. That helps. And Khan cuts off the release shot from Root.
It's a dangerous one if you try and run it down off Jansen because of the extra bounce he extracts out of most surfaces, whether it be in South Africa or on the subcontinent. If you try and knock it in that area, you can often lose control and just get a big edge.
That's why, Sean, they reckon Joe Root's stats in Test match cricket in Australia are good, but not as good as some other parts of the world. Because the bounce in Australia, he plays that little rundown, and as you say, the extra bounce can get yourself in trouble.
When I went into the county circuit, you realise you can play a lot more ball square of the wicket and cut shots at will compared to what we tried to do in South Africa. It's because of the nature of the pitches. The bounce outside off stump was a little bit lower than what you experience in South Africa and Australia. So, valid point.
Just feels strange that two top batting performers are from England, actually. And England not made it to the semi-finals. Maybe it's the bowling that has let them down. The batting has looked sharp.
I'd also throw out the amount of games that have been cancelled for rain. And some people haven't got an opportunity. Australia maybe haven't batted as many times. But yeah, there's been two that have performed and others that haven't and haven't backed them up. There's the field that's set. Strong offside field.
Straight again, cannot bowl there to Ben Duckett. You see they're trying to keep it off fifth stump, but they've been far too straight.
He's got this great ability to find the gaps as well. One thing, hitting the ball sweetly, but the other thing is to find the fence almost every time he middles that ball, especially on that middle and leg stump channel. He's been so great to watch.
And as they say in the sporting arena, the mind gurus tell you to concentrate on the positive, not the negative. And I think the team talk was, make sure you don't offer up any width on the offside. Whereas they should have maybe just said, let's try and hit the stumps, because it's been far too straight. He really has been able to pick off boundaries at will without any risk.
Deep in his crease there, Ben Duckett. Now the skipper's just lost his patience a little bit with his bowlers to Duckett. Slipper's had to come out and reinforce that leg side.
Yeah, Louis hasn't hit the ground running, so it might be an option to go earlier to Rabada and then ask Ngidi to come and replace Jansen from the commentary and afterwards. The man who's been in the best form and has shown the best control has been KG. The fact that you've got the bonus of 2 wickets, it's an opportunity just to try and pick up another. 35 for 2.
जाना कोई लाइव चेक नहीं आएगा न्यू कमर जो है ना भाई न्यू बंदे जो भी आते हैं उसको रिक्वेस्ट कर रहा हूँ कि चैनल को सब्सक्राइब करें वीडियो आगे शेयर करें और साथ साथ लाइक भी करें
Stars to watch on both sides. South Africa started well with 2 early wickets. Slightly leg side to Duckett. Bowled better to right-handers.
Ben Duckett allows you to do that. Get your footing in, like Joe Root. Doesn't matter if you are 2 of 7 balls, because from the other end, it's the bullet train. 23 of 15, Duckett.
other thing England got to do is slightly adjust from that Lahore pitch. This is still a very good pitch, but you can see with the pull shots, there may be a little bit more bounce here. And even that one from Root just hit the splice. So I think in Lahore, you could just drive through the line on the up. This one is just a bit more bounce onto the splice. Sure, and as we have a look at Ben Duckett's 4 boundaries, Lungi should he be over or around? What would you do, and what should he do more importantly?
Well, he likes to try and shape the ball into the left hand. You can see a little bit of movement, but then you've got to be starting on the right line. He's getting that movement, but it's obviously too straight. Marco Janssen, when his wrist isn't great, he also slides it down there. So there is enough movement to keep him over the wicket because you can think about trapping him in front. But as we say that, he's eventually going to go around, and what you see from him when he goes around, he also tries to go to the slow ball a little bit more often because he believes on the angle that it just straightens or grips. So watch for that variation. It's just 3 deliveries to go in the over. Will he use all 3 options?
Yeah, that was a slower delivery, just sitting in the pitch and bouncing up.
Because he believes that on the angle he bowls wide on the crease and it will be too straight if he shapes it like he's been from over the wicket. That's why he often goes to that variation. And then there's communication straight away with Rabada to say, okay, that was probably the first slow ball delivery, the first off cutter I decided to use today. And you know what? It gripped and it was steep. So there's an option for us as the game goes on. We can use quite a few of those.
Seems to be struggling just a little bit. It's hot out there. Took a pause, had a close look at his heel area. Ngidi, maybe change round the corner.
Six overs done, 37 for 2.
I am standing on $5 million, the grand prize of the most insane competition show you've ever seen. It all comes down to this.
Hungry Jack's Carolina range. Try Whopper with flame grilled beef, sizzling bacon, tangy Carolina sauce, and crispy onions. Or Jack's Fried Chicken Carolina. The burgers are better at Hungry Jack's.
Times the England batsmen haven't managed to properly time the ball. A couple from Root, that one on this instance from Ben Duckett. Other than that, he's taken advantage of the South African bowlers being a little straight beautifully. Giddy doesn't look particularly happy in his position down at third man. Got one of the medical team with him. Hot day here in Karachi. Doesn't beat backward point. easy stroke play is Ben Duckett. Stubbs does well without gathering the ball completely cleanly. Another indifferent start for England, the power play. Losing those 2 wickets. Salt and Smith have had a difficult tournament. Wonder what the conversation between Duckett and Root might have been as Joe Root walked out. Hello, mate. Fancy seeing you here again.
Well, I was just thinking that. Move down to number 4 for Joe Root. He's been in this tournament, 6th over, 7th over and 3rd over. So it's not gone as England designed or hoped.
Leading edge, simple catch in the end for the bowler, Marco Jansen. He just had to make sure his momentum wasn't taking him too far away to the right. Checked himself, gathered himself, England 3 down.
Yeah, the South Africans have strayed into Ben Duckett's legs quite a few times today, and he's managed to clip it away every single time. But on this occasion, just going a little bit early on the shot, little leading edge. Maybe the ball holding up in the wicket a touch. Marco Jansen takes a simple catch. Not exactly the way that Marco Jansen would have liked to have gotten the wicket today, but Ben Duckett's gone for 24. 37 for 3.
So Ben Duckett, one of England's batsmen who are in form, has gone as South Africa pick up their 3rd wicket after 6 overs and 4 balls of this contest. Harry Brook bats 5. A bit of discussion over the last 24 hours, or less, since Josh Buttler announced he was stepping down as England white ball captain, as to whether this man would take over the reins in due course. At the moment, he's got a job to do because England 37 for 3.
I think it is interesting to watch somebody like Harry Brook, though, in this situation, because he'd be well aware of all the speculation following Josh Butler's decision announced yesterday to step down. He'd be well aware as the vice-captain that he's the next man in line. So just to watch him today will be quite interesting. Watch his body language, watch how he goes about things at the crease. This is why he's here. Duckett just threw the shot a little too soon and getting the leading edge back to Marco Jansen.
Well, up to that point, it had been Duckett's bread and butter. Tucking in gleefully on the leg side. I don't think that was a variation, Dale. Did you pick up anything there from the wrist position?
He could have been looking at one of the fielders or the captain who may have suggested, I want to go cross-seam this ball, and that person may have said, no, stick with the seam up, which it was. Probably not Marco Jansen's best ball, but it was the seam up delivery. Managed to get himself a wicket.
Brooks' first ball is a bumper that zips through to Klassen and is given wide.
And Jansen's success in this opening spell highlights another of the deficiencies or criticisms of England's performance in this competition, namely the absence of a left armour and the absence of the variety and angle that Jansen provides.
Those options really at Topley and Curran, both seeming to have gone out of favour and fashion with England at the minute.
Yes, it may well have been a good tournament for Sam Curran. And, when you're absent and out of the team, your reputation and status and stature can improve. I suspect Sam Curran's has over the last 2 weeks.
.38 for 3, a successful over for South Africa and Jansen. 70 games between South Africa and England in ODIs, and South Africa just ahead, as they are here in Karachi, because after 7 overs, England 38 for 3. One problem for South Africa, Ian Giddy is off the field, receiving some sort of treatment. There's illness in South Africa's camp. 2 enforced changes. The captain, no less, is out. Corbin Bosch is on for Lungi and Giddy. So Kahiso Rabada will take over from Ngidi. Cut away hard and put down. Well, that was a tough chance. South Africa pride themselves on their fielding, but that really was hit with venom.
Yeah, really tough chance because it went very quickly. Didn't get much of a sighter on it, but it's quite a nice catching height, and you just hope to have a strong hand here, a strong grip. But the ball burst through.
Yeah, put in their position for that catch, as well as the drop and run. Came really quickly. Often the first ball of the over, KG Rabada bowls slightly quicker than somebody, say, like Lungi and Ngidi, so it would have rushed Mulder. It would have been a fantastic catch had he taken it.
Brook is away with a punch through the offside behind backward point, and he hit that hard.
It's a great cricket shot. Stands up tall, does Brook. Ball slightly shaping away from him. He just plays it with a straight bat and hits it down. Something Hashim Ahmed did really well as an opening batter. Look at that. That blade is straight. It looks like it's going to go to middle. It just cuts on it in the last second, manages to manipulate the ball through point.
And again, with more authority, 2 sumptuous shots from Harry Brook.
This was a bit fuller from Rabada. The first one, the back of a length that he played late and chopped into the ground. This one, fuller, able to play a more orthodox square drive. He is a beautiful time for the ball, Harry Brook. The ball just seems to fly off his blade, but he'd be aware that he owes Joss Butler and the team a few runs. He's just been a bit short of his best of late.
Change of field. Slip goes to shortish extra cover. KG Rabada just tightens his line. South Africa in a fantastic position with England 3 down inside the first power play. They've been slightly rusty, maybe, a little bit sloppy. A couple of freebies to Duckett on his pads, the missed run out, that drop catch, albeit a very difficult catch in the gully. Leads him on the inside. Straight bat to end that over from Rabada, 47 for 3. Three wickets for South Africa, 3 wickets for Marco Jansen. Salt, Smith, and then Duckett for 24. Plenty of protection in that slip gully region if Root wants to try and run it down. We've seen Ngidi open the bowling and then go off. Didn't look particularly comfortable. Where can South Africa's captain today fiddle around with some overs if and Giddy can't come back onto the field.
So Aiden Markham can roll his arm over a little bit too. And I suspect that he will bowl some tonight. If South Africa find themselves having to play that semi-final in Dubai, he'll probably have to bowl there on that wicket. So he'll want to bowl today. Tristan Stubbs is another guy that can bowl a bit of off-spin. He's not the best in the world, but he can bowl. So there are overs to find for South Africa within the team.
I was going to ask actually about what South Africa have been doing. I put it to Adrian Markram at the toss that they've not played for 8 days. It's quite a tricky balancing act. You've got to practice a bit, but you don't want to be practicing every day because you just get stale. Of course, they had that rained-off game in Pindi. What are the enthusiasms of these South African lads, Dale? What do they like doing in the days off?
At the moment, it's a lot of tennis, I believe. Oh, that's a beautiful shot. That is classic Joe Root. Slightly overpitched by Marco Jansen. England bring up their 50.
Kick the ball right under his eye line with a beautiful straight bat, high front elbow. That wasn't a long half volley, that was just a push to a length delivery. He's in great nick.
And who are the all-round sportsmen then? Speaking of tennis, obviously, many players who get to the top in one sport find themselves quite naturally talented and good at other things. But who are the key players for South Africa?
In the tennis, I believe Rassie van der Dussen is doing pretty well, but Ryan Rickleton's a good player from what I hear. A lot of the guys like their paddle. I don't think they've managed to find a paddle court here in Karachi or in Lahore.
Oh, just evades the man at square leg. And Root hits another fine boundary.
Well, where Phil Salt and Jamie Smith failed, Joe Root shows them how to do it. Maybe Marco Jansen's just tiring a bit here, but Root was very quickly into position and pulling it wide of the man. Of course, Salt and Jamie Smith, all they could do was splice it up in the air, trying to fetch it from outside off stump, which is the difficulty and the danger sometimes with the left armour. On the angle, you have to try and fetch it from too far outside the off stump.
$57 for 3.
Paddle big in South Africa then.
Once you see it everywhere. The Cooper fermenter. What you feel is called obsession. Cooper, inspiring from Barcelona.
Just had to hold his shape there, Joe Root. He was looking for a biggish drive, I think. Similar to the one he played in the previous over. Jansen is there as short extra cover.
Yeah, they're trying to cut off Joe Root's run scoring square on the offside. We've already seen him put down once, but that gully remains. And there's another man behind square on the edge of the circle and two others square and then catching. That is a hugely productive area for Root from that short extra cover around to gully. He gets a lot of his runs there. So South Africa, there's two ways you go. You either try and bowl away from somebody's strength, or in fact you kind of pack the field to their strength and then bowl to it as well. Sloppy. Remember Stephen Fleming setting a very similar field to Damien Martin, the Australian batter. We're going back a few years now, but he was another one who was very strong square of the wicket. You'd often see 4, 5, 6 New Zealand players in that arc, just in front and behind square.
One of the more exquisite timers of the cricket ball, Damien Martin, back in the day.
I loved watching him. Just feet like close together, hands just beautiful with his legs, cover drive, stunning. And just to add on to your point about the fields, I remember touring Pakistan for the first time in 2007, and Mark Boucher and Callis would say to me, caught it, short cover. Oh, great shot. Harry Brook using his feet. He's seen the field that Rabada is using, decided to run at him. That ball was bowled at 146 k's an hour. I think it came off the blade at about 180.
Third boundary he has taken from Rabada. The second one in exactly that area. First one went a little bit behind square. First two from punches, that from an advancement. Goes again, Rabada sees him and follows him. 62 for 3, and that is the power play done. Leanne Mulder to start the 11th over in the second power play with England 62 for 3. 3 wickets belong to Michael Jansen from his 5 overs. Probably not. Probably got outside the line of off stump. Bowler seems very keen. Height an issue?
Yeah, it just didn't quite look right, did it? First of all, Root is down the pitch and over to the offside a touch. Not sure whether it hit him outside the line, whether it was too high, whether he was too far down the pitch. There was so much doubt for the on-field umpire. You can see Root advancing. Yeah, there's not much going for that.
Oh, there was a noise going through, but nothing from bowler or keeper. That sort of scuttled through and rushed Joe Root a wee bit.
Has been used to facing Marco Jansen, much taller, left arm obviously, but gets more bounce. This is skidding through, and as it often does here in Pakistan, you can often get the ball really hustling through, and you've got to stay low and down and on the shot.
Oh, that's a late pull-out. That is a late pull-out. That is not what you want as a bowler. Something very late got in the eye line of Joe Root, and he's not happy. Don't you hate that as a bowler?
30 degrees out there, you're running in, now you got to bowl, it's tough enough bowling 6, now you got to bowl another one. It's probably the worst thing as a bowler.
The batsman starts to advance at you, as we saw Brook to Rabada, and we've seen Root to Thing. It must be something you've got to keep a very close eye on. Another reminder of what happened in the first power play. Another failure for Salt. Similar type dismissal for Jamie Smith, who's Elevation of number 3 hasn't really worked that experiment. Duckett tucked into some deliveries that were very leg side from Marco Janssen before trying to turn that one again leg side, finding the leading edge. Root's got that, fielder out there, over his head, bangs into the metal stanchion, pings back onto the ground, 6.
We've seen Root advance down the wicket. We've actually seen both English batters right now advance down the wicket, but on that particular occasion, it looked like he just went a little deeper into his crease. Bjorn Mulder bowling the same ball that he's bowled throughout this over, just trying to hold the back of a length. Root going deeper in the crease, forcing the ball to be a little bit shorter and being able to play that pull.
How late can you make, there's Lungi and Giddy who may come back onto the field for South Africa, how late can you make an adjustment if you see a batsman advancing at you?
I mean, it's pretty difficult. You kind of have an idea of what you want to bowl, and then you've got like your get out of jail card delivery that you feel like, should I let it go earlier to go Yorker, or should I hold it slightly longer in my hand and drop it like slightly shorter, depending on whether the batter's advancing or not. But it requires you to have close attention to what the batter is actually doing.
They're going to be done for at least a single, and it's another fumble. They've not been perfect by any means in the field, South Africa. Slightly sloppy. 70 for 3. So this is the last game from Group B of the ICC Men's Champions Trophy. We're here in Karachi. Australia progressed to the semi-finals yesterday, washout in Lahore. South Africa should go through to the semi-finals with the Australians. A win here today would cement that completely. Extra bounce, and it drops short to that man on the gully line who has been catching over the last 10 minutes, but Stubbs have been pushed back another 5, 6 or 7 yards.
Yeah, the gully's been taken out, which means that they've asked the point fielder to probably just go slightly deeper. I don't think it would have carried had that fielder been there in the first place, but Kagiso Rabara, a little bit of extra pace, just rushing Brook there.
So just to finish off on the scenarios in Group B, Australia are through. South Africa will be through if they win here today in Karachi. They can lose and technically go through. They would have to have a catastrophic defeat, somewhere in the region of 200, 207 runs today for that net run rate to sink below Afghanistan's. But if they avoid a very heavy defeat, or indeed win, they will qualify. Where they will play and who will not be determined today. Giddy opened the bowling, bowled 3 overs for 19, looked in some discomfort, not entirely sure what the problem was. He spent a time chatting with the medical staff on the boundary edge and then left the field altogether, but he's back. Root is working that full straight delivery away into the leg side.
He looks okay as he's standing there. It's not like he's grabbing his hamstring or his quad or anything. Nothing that stands out for me.
or his stomach, because there's been some illness in the camp.
Could be that. There is a little bit of illness within the camp, but from a muscle point of view, looks like he's okay. Didn't look like when he was running in or anything like he was grimacing or grabbing a particular area on his body, so it just could be stomach cramps.
Tidy this over from Rabada, who slightly tightened his lines. Beautifully placed and timed. The wrist work got that into the gap and away for 4, and Ngidi didn't look comfortable chasing after that. 77 for 3.
What are you up to?
Just about a double on network.
Wow. Double coverage activated. Double coverage activated. Double coverage activated. Double coverage activated.
Now with double the network coverage, make your move to Vodafone. England recovering nicely here. Partnership of 40 from 34 between Root and Brook. Wonderful counter punch from England. 37 for 3. South Africa dominated that opening power play. Just sloppy fielding as well, aiding England's cause.
It's a tremendous shot in the end. Very, very fast outfield. It was nothing, just a polite push through between mid-wicket and mid-on. From off to leg.
Called. It's an excellent batting surface here in Karachi. It's the same surface used for the South Africa-Afghanistan game, 21st of February. South Africa batted first, got to 315 for 6.
Clearly a lot less grass on it, a lot less cracks. They said they didn't shave off the top, but it was sort of rolled into the surface. Great batting surface. Play on top of the bounce, through the line.
Tough game for England to get up for, but Jos Buttler announcing his resignation of the white ball captaincy. Perhaps that gives them something else to play for. It's not easy to pitch up for a game like this. Chatting to Jamie Overton at the start of the game, said, yeah, it is a bit of mixed feelings coming into this game.
If you're distracted, you also want to play for your leaving captain. It's not the first time they bowl on the pads. This one given a wide down the leg side. So got to be mixed feelings, and then you've got to raise your game suddenly and be a tough opponent like South Africa.
Yeah, it's been fairly sloppy cricket, actually, until this partnership. England obviously sloppy. And South Africa haven't got their lines right or their fielding at times. Someone who isn't sloppy when he plays cricket is Joe Root. Look at that, averaging above 50, highest ODI average for England. A minimum of 20 innings.
They haven't had a competitive game since that opening encounter against Afghanistan back on the 21st of February, so tough to get back and get to your best.
Yeah, I was speaking to Sean at the back of the box as well. It's not just that. Obviously, they haven't been together that much with their main, if you talk about their main 11, 12, 13 players, they had that triangular straight on the back of SA20, and they sent, not B team, but a few players that didn't make the main squad. So this is an opportunity. And then they have a couple of illness in this game.
Rained out of there in Lahore last night. Had Afghanistan won that one, this game would have had so much more riding on it.
What a team Afghanistan have become. Clear-headed. On a sticky surface, there has been under the covers. They were very, very clear in their thinking to bat first, get as many as possible, and then back the bowlers to do the job.
Joe Root and all his experience, really enjoyed how he batted in this competition so far. He's got an ease about him, doesn't he, Nat?
Yeah, always has. Never looks flustered, never looks rushed for time. Consistent, you look up, and again, he's 27 off 31. All the power and strength in world cricket at the moment. It's lovely to have a touch player.
Five from the over, 13 gone, 82 for 3 England. Gorgeous day in Karachi, really hot. Slight breeze blowing across the ground, but wonderful weather as we have a look at the Group B results so far. Of course, winning the 107 runs against Afghanistan to get their campaign underway. Australia, record run chase against England. Much abandoned for South Africa, but how good for Afghanistan against England. That win, knocking England out of the competition. Talk about Afghanistan, one of the areas I've been really impressed in is the all-rounder role and just how they are able to bat deeper and not just rely on certain players.
The thing that most impressed me was how they handle seriously great pace with so much of ease. Now consider their scenario, because they don't really go and tour a lot of A-graders, and yet be so comfortable when it came to playing Wood, for example.
Wood, of course, picking up an injury. Saqib Mahmood coming into the team today now.
Yeah, I was watching him bowl out there, and the irony is that Mark Wood, huge history of injuries, huge injury of knees and ankles, and Saqib had his knees, left knee, heavily strapped. But, good to see him in. He's actually someone I'd love to see in my era, because now with 2 white balls, you don't get as much reverse swing. He has that slingy action that in these conditions, by around about the 30th over, of a different era, the ball would be reversing and Saqib Mahmood would be reversing it. He's on the flight over with his family, actually. His dad came and said hello. I came from Dubai across to, where do we fly into? Lahore for England's first game. Saqib's dad was on there. The anomaly with England, we keep talking about speed, and they have been the quickest, but they've also gone for plenty.
Bowlers who've adapted to these conditions have had the change-up delivery, have had those variations, have performed so well in this competition, Ramiz.
Yes, I mean, it's exciting to watch a Wood thunderbolt. Take it anytime, every day. But then it has to sort of be in the context of the game, when to really go at full throttle. Not a lot of Yorkers and wide Yorkers from England. I think it just moved away from the action. Clearly something to do with the side screen, I'm not too sure. Maybe a fly in the mouth. Not a lot of slow balls, and even when they tried their hand at slow deliveries, went for plenty. But the Yorkers, the wider angles, were not really consistently hit by England.
Just 3 from the over so far. 11 balls since the last boundary. There was a flurry of boundaries 20 minutes ago. Brook and Root really getting after some loose bowling. 1 ball to go to the drinks break here in Karachi.
I don't know what the issue is. That's 3 times now, Joe Root. The bowlers have actually been okay. I know a few bowlers. Maybe it is the birds. There's quite a few around here. Maybe at times Spider Cam. I don't know. But Root's done it 3 times. I know a few South African bowlers of old that may have had a word by now.
We won't mention names.
They've already had 1 warning for in-between overs, South Africa being slow. And Kahisa Rabada just telling the umpire, we want some time back for these.
That ball to end the 14th over. 85 for 3 England. Time for a drink here in Karachi.
Sending money beyond your home ground, whether it's for the folks back home, making that dream purchase. Special offers for new online customers. Wherever you're sending money, send it with Western Union.
I don't play basketball for the money, the fame. I only play because I wanted to change my family's life.
Welcome to John Madden Football. It's one of the best sellers in video game history. Players look at Madden as a reflection of who they are. It's in the game.
Hungry Jack's Mega Feast. Mega value. 2 Whopper cheese, 2 cheeseburgers, 2 chicken royale, 4 small chips, 4 small drinks, plus 3 chicken tenders for only $39.95. Only at Hungry Jack's.
Ready? I must recognize when it is time to end my competitive career. In the game of tennis, I love you and will never leave you.
What are you up to?
Just about to double on that way.
Wow. Double coverage activated. Double coverage activated. Return to route. Double coverage activated. Now with double the network coverage, make your move to Vodafone. The Cooper fermenter. What you feel is called obsession. Cooper, inspiring from Barcelona.
Cricket is a game of small margins. You can feel like you're on top, and it can flip in a second.
There's no bigger rivals than India and England. If you can stand up on this stage, you stood up when the whole world was watching.
England going into service 6 to the over. 85 for 3 after 14 overs. Time to reflect now on another champion performance.
Morgan continues to impress. Magnificent strike again from Owen Morgan.
That is really an excellent shot.
And 50 for Owen Morgan. 26 deliveries only.
Incredible knock by Owen Morgan, 67 from 34, strike rate of nearly 200. England piling on 323 for 8. Talk about that century from Graham with 141. No other support. England winning by 22 runs in the Centurion. Performance like that loading here now.
It's a good pitch, as it often is at Centurion. It's quick outfield, as it often is at Centurion. Maharaj into the attack.
Pace will be the key. We know that the ball does grip and spin here. More in the second innings than in the first, which is a little strange.
is a little strange. In Pakistan, generally, throughout the day, it gets a little bit damp and it skids on and there's less for spinners. But this is the one ground in this tournament, anyway, where it's spun more in the second innings. Both sides have one batting first. See if that happens today.
We see Markham turn his arm over here too for a couple of overs today.
I think these days Santner is the mark for left arm spinners, for any spinner, because he kinds of bowls at a very slow pace, yet it somehow dips not near the length at all at times. Has gone through for a run. And Maharaj is slackened his pace. Joe Root has been the star. Practice session for him. It's a great template for ODI batsmen to follow. Safe initially, and then he improvises, and then he has the power game as well to go with the simplicity he creates at the crease in the first half of his innings.
Came out and played at the FA20. Really enjoyed the way he took to the competition too. Great thinking cricketer, Joe Root. Two from the over, 87 for 3.
The difference between most left armsmen, as you see there, Maharaj is generally quick, slow. The last ball, 78. You spoke about Santner. Santner often is the other way round. Slow, quick. Which is very brave in the modern game to be slow so often. Flighty.
Some local fans coming in. Final group game here for the National Stadium in Karachi. A 50-run partnership between Joe Root and Harry Brook, 50 from 54. Here's Vian Mulder. On to that, there's protection out on the boundary. Indeed, he does the fielding.
Two Yorkies in the middle, Joe Root and Harry Brook, know each other well. Joe Root was singing Harry Brook's praises a while ago, at least half a dozen years ago, so you've got to keep an eye out for this lad Brook. He's going to be a real talent. He's had a quiet time of late in white ball cricket, Brook. Good opportunity here.
Lots of talk about who will take over the captaincy. He's obviously one of the names that have been thrown out there, but is it a case of you wanting him to focus on his batting rather than us?
I don't know. It seems to be a change of era. I mean, the era we were brought up in, your captain, just captains, and captains across formats, and you never worried about their workload. Graham Smith is an example. What a captain he was across formats. Now you're just a bit worried, maybe because he's young. Graham Smith was young when he took over.
Some probably thought he was a bit too young, but he had the hunger, he had the courage, didn't he, to take the captaincy and make the kind of decisions that everyone thought, oh, what are you doing? And it worked.
Yeah, so myself or Lara Ponting, or you captained across all formats. Nowadays, you're sort of trying to split it a little bit, split coaches. England have gone back to one coach in McCullum. Maybe there's more cricket. Maybe there's so much cricket now with the extra format of T20 that you do have to worry about the workload of even your captain, especially if it's a young one.
It's tough to look back on these 2 years and find some high points, but then you think about the fact that you've won World Cups, you know how to win, you've got a wonderful talent pool that's come through.
Yeah, I think you'd forget that with Butler, definitely. He's one of 3 World Cup winning captains for England. Obviously Morgan and Collingwood in the T20 World Cup in the West Indies. So there was that initial success with Butler. I think the key with Butler is that they want him to get back to being the player that he has been for a number of years.
A little disappointed to see him bat lower in the batting order. I think his real value is up the batting order. That relaxes him. or would have relaxed him, because the field is in, you can be yourself, and in subcontinent conditions where the ball doesn't do a lot, would have helped him a great deal, and England as well.
Lots to think about, lots to talk about, but what England will do well is win today's game, give the fans back home something to cheer about, but also start that winning trend again. A single. Still no boundary, the last 23 balls.
South Africa have tried Brook with the odd short ball. The very first ball he came in, there was a short ball. And bowlers and cricketers and teams have long memories. I think he was on debut at the Oval. He came in a test match and was bounced just after tea when he was going well. And Marco Jansen took the catch down at fine leg and he was bounced out by South Africa. So they still have a feeling to go the short stuff with him.
Short ball in ODI cricket has a lot of value because it's a longer format compared to T20, and so if you don't get it right the first time, if you have it as a strategy, then it can work, especially on placid tracks. 2 wickets in this innings, for example, gone down to that short ball because you are dead set on hitting anything and everything these days.
Salt and Smith finishing short ball from Jansen, opening power play. What's the way for a single? And it's 92 for 3 England.
Via TV has so many great recommendations.
Yeah, it serves up the best options from all my apps in one place. It's like it knows what I want before I do.
The orangutans have escaped the zoo. They're everywhere.
The picture quality is amazing. So lifelike.
Yeah, you can search by genre, movie, actor.
Oh, that's got to be it.
Alexa, show me the latest hit movies.
Sweet.
Get into more of what you're into with Fire TV.
Current run rate, England will get to 287. 7 to be able to get to 330. That's probably what they'll be eyeing. Here's Maharaj now, slip in place. And the first one hard. It's a wonderful moment. Shahid Afridi walking the trophy out. ICC ambassador. A wonderful cricketer, someone who himself reinvented play in the white ball game. And great support, a wonderful cheering crowd at the side as he walked the trophy out. Great use of the feet by Brook, just a single. Rotation of strike has also been so important in this competition.
Someone who did believe in rotation of strike on your screen.
Stand and deliver. When you can boom a freely, why do you need to rotate strike? Oh, that's nicely played by Joe Root. This is what we're talking about. He's got all the shots in the book.
He sure has, and he used the shot a lot against Afghanistan to get the boundary away and then manoeuvre the field. Against Afghanistan, he played that early and everyone went squarer or behind square, and that opened up the offside. It's not just the shot, it's what the shot does to the field. World class from Root again.
Guys have captured, a missed opportunity for South Africa.
Rabada there had been asked to come in a few pace. And, well, it was a tough one. Generally blocked and had to dive forward. He went a little sideways to the ball, and then that's gone up in the air. Will this be taken? It's going to fall safely. Oh, no, not really! What a catch that is! That is a massive strike from a fellow who is about 8 feet tall. Massive wings. and he held on to it. What a day he's having. Wickets and this great catch. This is unbelievable. Really is terrific catch.
That is such a long way down for Marco Jansen. He had to make so much ground. The breeze kept taking it away from him. At this stage, Harry Brook thinks, I'm in trouble. Then he thinks, no, actually, I'm going to get away with this. And that is so good. The distance he had to cover to get there. Brilliant from the big man. And Harry Brook and his tournament come to an end. 19 from 29. England, 99 for 4.
Harry Brook's wicket brings Joss Buttler to the crease for the final time as England's white ball captain. Will be an emotional moment for him. It's been an emotional 24 hours for him. But he'll want to go out on a high in this tournament. Comes out after a blinder of a catch from Marco Jansen to dismiss Harry Brook. Going to watch this catch again and again and wonder how did Marco Jansen not only make the ground but hold on to this brilliant catch.
The toughest swing. Then accurate shot. Nicely balanced, but he was looking at the ball all the time and with the swirling breeze ready to look after, to take care of. Plenty of distance he covered.
28 meters and then still to hold on to the catch. No one happier than Keshav Maharaj. Just Buttler off the mark. England's 100 comes up at the end of the 17th over. There's a threatening partnership of 62 between Root and Brook. Timely breakthrough for South Africa. How will Joss Buttler play this innings? I'll talk about the emotions, all of that, but he'll be back in his bubble now.
Yeah, he'll want to score for himself. Try and win this final game as captain. Well, he's got long legs and he had to use them. And the slide as well. You see sometimes footballers slide like that to celebrate a goal and their knees get stuck in the ground. Maharaj loved it.
They're all celebrating. He's shaking his head. How did that go? Thought he was safe. Right at the end, Jansen held on to it. Got that fine. 2 runs. It's an important passage of play where you've got to be able to bring out these different shots, and that's why Root is so important in this period of play for England. South Africa will know the importance of his wicket.
It's the toughest job really to reconstruct, rebuild in the middle phase of the innings. 4 down England. They need a partnership. They need Buttler to score a few runs. Root is already settled, so this partnership has to work for England's sake.
been noticeable how straight they're falling to Joe Root. They've actually chanced a few wides down the leg side. Just a bit of a wobble set, didn't do that much, just played around it. England's in-form batter, they've had two in this tournament, Duckett and Root. They've both gone, and England in bother on a good pitch. 103 for 5, Root made 37. Livingstone and England in trouble, 103 for 5. It's a lovely warm afternoon in Karachi. The pitch seems to be a decent one for batting, but England lost 3 wickets in the power play to Marco Jansen, and now they've just lost their best player, Joe Root, looking across a straight ball from Mulder that maybe just came back in a fraction of the seam. 3 for 5. Ian Ward. What a struggle.
What, the cricket or commentating with me?
Always a pleasure.
Gotta say, I thought that nipped. Played around it a little bit, Joe Root, but in the form that he's in, that's a good delivery. Skipped through a wee bit. I think that just nipped back enough to defeat this shot from Joe Root. Just a hint, maybe. They were trying to stay straight to him. As Nash said, they had to give away a couple of wides just to keep that tight line if they could. They've got the real threat.
You were here last evening, weren't you, when Joss Butler sprung a surprise, really, because it was supposed to be Joe Root doing the pre-match press conference, and then suddenly Joss Butler strolled in with Brendan McCullough, and everybody realised that perhaps it was a more significant press conference than normal. How did you find him afterwards when you spoke to him?
Well, he spoke for about 2 minutes at the start of the press conference, flanked by Brendan and Danny Rubin, he's England's media guy. And he made a very short statement and answered a couple of questions, and then pretty much just stood up and left. And he walked past me, and he looked a little bit emotional, shall we say. 4 for 5.
Sending money beyond your home ground? Whether it's for the folks back home, making that dream purchase. Special offers for new online customers. Wherever you're sending money, send it with Western Union.
With the global pandemic, Cirque du Soleil is laying off more than 3,400 workers. Tell the world we are...
लागे खैर की मगर वो मुझे खराब है
looking at England's position. The bowlers, I wonder whether Farage can bring anybody else up mid-off, mid-on. Say to Livingstone, go on if you want to. You're in a bit of bother. If you want to take it on, there's just enough there. Maharaj, the ball holding off the surface. He's got a slip in place.
Well, England's predicament is not a good one at 104 for 5, but from Liam Livingstone's point of view, he has time. He can play an innings.
That's my point, really, that Livingstone will probably just look to settle in because of all that
Please
time
like
you talk about.
and subscribe my
On
channel.
the ground. Why not
Thank
therefore,
you.
just
For newcomer, please like
under under pressure. Livingston himself
my
short
channel
runs under pressure. Go on,
and share with your
take
friends
it on, take it on.
for
Here's
more
Butler
matches,
facing Maharaj.
more live matches.
Too easy. Butler got off the mark that way as well. Make him hit it through the infield, I agree. Shorter runs of late, Liam Livingstone, as have a few of the others. Hence England's predicament.
Ooh, it was not far away from slip. There is just a little bit there for Maharaj. He was a beautiful bowler. This was a thick edge that just went wide of slip.
Yeah, I agree with you. There's just that little bit there for the left arm spin. And canny bit of bowling. Little bit wider, little bit slower with that grip.
108 for 5. England rocked by those 3 wickets in the power play. South Africa have got them just where they want them, really. 5 down, 2 men new to the crease, but those only face 4 balls. Livingstone 8. So very difficult for England to really press on at this stage. They've got to try and just recover for a while and then set a platform.
Even better for South Africa. I mean, they're in an outstanding position as it stands. 108 for 5, but a couple of drops, a missed run out, a little bit sloppy. Excellent catch from Michael Jansen. But it could have been, probably should have been, just that little bit better. Slightly sloppy at times. These are the first 3 wickets to fall. That catch out of the deep together with Harry Brook. As good as you will see from an outfield. Duckett was getting that leading edge, first couple of wickets to short balls. A good day along with that catch. It's funny watching Harry Brook. When he hit that ball in the deep, I think initially he thought, oh, I'm out. And then he thought, oh no, I might be good here. And then all of a sudden, Jansen makes terrific ground. Catches it so cleanly, given the distance he had to travel. Very, very good outfield catch. The talents of Marco Jansen, I'll say unending, particularly from a South African side perspective. You think of those wickets that he's taken, the height that he possesses, and the ability to control and then use it. And over the course of this, what I'll call a purple patch, it's actually not all been in control. Sometimes it's been a case of luck, but in the recent sort of 2 months, latter part of it, he's found the control and the ability to bowl exactly where he wants, just about. And has been particularly important for this side. Wasn't he playing with injury for quite a period of time? He's finally managed to get his body right. Yeah, shoulder and then also took a long break, and the long break was good for him.
Side edge. Livingston gets away with it. 110 for 5. Both phases in South Africa's favour today. 62 for 3 the opening power play, but a couple of important wickets out of Brook and Root in this second phase between overs 11 and 20. Both wicketkeeper and slip were quick to spot Liam Livingstone playing that rather premeditated shot that was going wide off.
Little death sweeps are not what you normally associate with Liam Livingstone, because he is usually batting in the latter stage of either T20 or 50 over innings. They both read it, keeper and slip. He's managed to just glide that away to the boundary, we associated with brute force, but that was a nice deft touch. The mentality of these two sides is something sort of trying to see just by the way they go about it, by their body language. Yeah, nearly through that time. And that goes on with the arm a little bit quicker. One side trying to send off their mate, their captain, who's resigned, and the other side trying to keep a momentum. Gone. Tossed up, and he's run up and had to kind of look up and then try and find it. It was so high up in the air and so slow, and Livingstone missed it completely. He almost had the time to get back, actually, and turning around and running back. Oh dear.
That's a horrible shot, that, from Livingstone. Beautiful bit of bowling from Maharaj. Floated it up invitingly, but Livingstone advancing, and then just got to the position where he yorked himself and hacked across the line. Dreadful shot, bad dismissal, 9 from 15, 114 for 6. Has been a problem throughout this tournament. Only Joe Root, really, and Ben Duckett have shown any kind of form, and you can't challenge in ICC global tournaments with just 2 batters in form. Everybody else short of runs, out of nick. Livingstone the latest to go. 114 for 6 is far too early for Jamie Overton to be walking to the crease.
No, I mentioned Liam Livingstone is a sort of muscular finisher, so is Overton, but he's in with nearly 30 overs to go. This is beautiful bit of bowling. Such skill to take the pace off, throw it up, have the control. He toyed with Livingstone. Previous over, he just held one back, spun outside off stump. Oh, has he hit that? He's hit that, and I think he's got away with it. But otherwise, that was absolutely stone dead. This is high class left arm spin bowling. I mentioned Livingstone turns one, hits the outside edge a bit slower, nearly fires one through LBW, then threw one up, and Livingstone couldn't resist the bait. 114 for 6.
Hungry Jack's Mega Feast. Mega value. 2 Whopper cheese, 2 cheeseburgers, 2 chicken royale, 4 small chips, 4 small drinks, plus 3 chicken tenders for only $39.95. Only at Hungry Jack's.
I don't play basketball for the money, the fame. I only play because I wanted to change my family's life.
Three overs earlier for Ngidi. He's been on and off the field throughout the day.
Revisit my point. Interrupted by the dismissal of Livingstone, and it's just on about the fact that South Africa will need to be clinical once again, need to assert themselves, having got into this position, and they are up against a side that's wounded mentally in England with all that's gone on, the couple of losses. And then also their skipper deciding to relinquish that post. And so a difficulty here for them to even show some fight, to mentally get themselves up for what is a challenge. Essentially, that's to show pride, quote unquote.
Yeah, just with a bit of analysis here. Have a look at Joe Root. I mean, he's always been known as a guy with such a wonderful technique. Have a look at this top shoulder. Beautiful position when he first came to the crease. But as his innings went on, he wanted to work the ball, wanted to score a little bit quicker. And his bottom hand started to take over. Outside the off stump, looking to hit it leg side. Bottom hand comes through there again. Top hand not as prevalent. Needed it for that one because it was a little bit straight. But the one he gets out to as well. No real top hand. Bottom hand comes through, misses it. And he has to be on his way.
Yeah, and exacerbated by the little bit of movement that there was off the seam.
Some player, Joe Root, watched him for a little bit in the last 6 weeks or so. And the rest in terms of his career, with the ups and downs, but more often than not, runs flowing from that bat.
Overton actually looked in a half-decent touch against Afghanistan. His bowling looked plain, but he came to the crease at a critical time in that game, made a useful contribution, not quite getting it over the line, but thought he looked okay with the bat in that game. He's got plenty of time here. 32 from 28 was his contribution, but he's got plenty of time to make an impact today.
Point we made with Livingstone, plenty of time. Where do you see he's at the moment with his career?
Well, as for so many, with the place on the line, you look at Salt's contribution in this competition, and he looks like a kind of T20 dasher who's looking to find his way in 50-over cricket. Livingstone has neither finished when given the opportunity, as in that first game against Australia, or has used the opportunity that he had here, 116 for 6. So there's a few playing for their places. So a slip, a short extra cover, a short mid-on. Maharaj in the middle of a beautiful spell of left arm spin. So many good ones in this competition. Jadeja, Shah Patel, Mitchell Santner. All of them in their own ways, excellent to watch. No left armour for England, of course.
Well, it was Bethel.
Yeah, injured before the tournament. Although he, with the best will in the world, would put himself in the same category as those four.
Definitely not.
Although he might.
Not yet, surely. In South Africa have Shamsi, who's on the sideline, who's not quite in the same ilk in terms of him being a wrist spinner and the others being finger spinners. And very much behind Maharaj in this lineup. Maharaj with a whole lot more control. And if and when it turns, well, and has done. Maharaj for a long time, keep things quiet and present opportunities. We're making the assumption that you're going to go through, and it looks very, very likely that you are. You could end up in Dubai against India on a spinning pitch, so that man might have a big role to play. Yeah, and in tournaments, I guess that's the difficulty. If you're on the side and sort of waiting for your goal because conditions allow or do not, or balance of team allows or doesn't, got to be ready to go when that time comes. 119 for 6.
That's what's ahead of us. Tuesday is the first semi-final from Dubai. Of course, we don't know yet who will be where. Coming the day after from Lahore. Final next Sunday. Again, we don't know where.
I guess the 8-team tournament, and likely that you're going to have to wait for that final game in each group generally. But it's crazy that we're at this point and we don't know, and no way of knowing. You mentioned the left armers in the competition. Kuldeep Yadav has looked in sprightly form with the ball for India. Even bowling overs at the death with terrific success. We'll find out more as to who's playing who and where after that game from Dubai. New Zealand taking on India. Of course, both sides already through to the semi-finals. 1 o'clock local time.
Excellent stop, preventing a certain boundary. Yeah, it should be a cracking match that tomorrow, because New Zealand have looked in really good order. Obviously, India unbeaten and enjoying the conditions in Dubai. So it should be a terrific game to watch. Looking forward to it. Already qualified, of course, and qualified quite some time ago, but still we don't know about the standings, who will end up on top, and that will determine who plays who.
Yeah, both have looked pretty good, and New Zealand, having been in Pakistan for that tri-series and formidable side. Nice balance to them with some new players, and particularly in the bowling lineup, going nicely. They'll fancy their chances. Their ability, New Zealand, to play the overs in the middle with the spinners, surely will have a lot to do with that result.
generally the scores have been a bit lower in Dubai than here in Pakistan. If you look at the square here in Karachi, it looks quite bare and dry, doesn't it? But it's quite a big square. In Dubai, it's quite small. They've had a lot of cricket of late, IL T20, and then the Women's World Cup. So those pitches quite dry. And now you play those three spinners in the middle and determine quite a lot in that game. New Zealand got some fine players of spin as well, so it should be a terrific encounter.
Is he injured or ill, Del Mitchell? Yeah, previous game, I'm just wondering what a key man. Not to say they can't go without him, but key man in the way he operates in that middle part of the game.
Those fielders in the circle are very tight there at extra cover and mid-wicket. They're trying to squeeze England for every run here. .124 for 6.
Welcome to John Madden Football.
It's one of the best sellers in video game history.
Players look at Madden as a reflection of who they are.
It's in the game.
Sending money beyond your home ground? Whether it's for the folks back home, making that dream purchase. Special offers for new online customers. Wherever you're sending money, send it with Western Union.
Operated a long time in bilateral one-day internationals without this combination of bowlers, Jansen, Gidi, Rabada, Maharaj and Mulder. And it's a really good combination. Throw in the fact that Markram can bowl some off-spinners, and being in that top order, it's a great balance. Yeah, they've got a good all-round side, South Africa, and the way they've gone, game one, the start here.
Nicely played. Just a fraction short from Maharaj.
Maybe a fraction quicker too. See him miss his mark, but he has on this occasion. Full credit to Jamie Overton, who hasn't had many opportunities to release his hands and his arms. Got that delivery, slams it away for 4. A small apology from Maharaj, and yet again an England batsman pulls away right at the last minute.
Graphic came up that showed there's a bit more spin in this game here at Karachi than previous games. England, of course, just playing one spinner. Seem reluctant. Well, I say one specialist spinner. Of course, they've got Root and Livingstone. They'd count those as perfectly serviceable spinners as well. But seem reluctant to play a second in Rayan Ahmed, who's into the squad. And 29 for 6.
From the outside, sort of looking in at the England camp, you get a sense and a feeling that it's a quest to kind of all find themselves in the way that they should play, and kind of from far away you go, it seems England will play the same way whatever the code they're playing, whether it's test matches, one days or 2020s. And if not in exactly the same way, which it can't be, but the aggression and mentality would be the same. And the difficulty then is to kind of temper how you go about that as you go from format to format. And when you get it wrong, it looks horrible.
Rabada.
Brendan McCullum again reiterated when he was speaking after Josh Butler had announced he was stepping down as England's white ball captain, that he didn't feel England were playing with any great confidence. Took it too seriously, really, in terms of to worry about the negative potential of results. So his messaging will be similar to what he's done with the test side, really. Go and try and free yourself up. They haven't managed to do that in this trophy. You mentioned the spin-off as well. The cupboard's a little bare, isn't it, really, in terms of other selections?
Yeah, I mean, the Liam Dawson's the curious one. He's a good cricketer, I think, good all-round cricketer, but seems to be out of favour or overlooked as that gets chipped in the air. An excellent catch. Ngidi takes another good one. We've already seen one from Marco Jansen earlier in the piece. This time Ngidi diving away over his left shoulder. Terrific catch.
Watch the ball. This is what he's done as he's run. You watch Lumi Ngidi as he goes here. Never takes his eyes off it and then stretches every sinew to get it. And in the end, it's the left hand that gets there. And the smile on Rabada's face tells you everything. Another wicket down. It's Overton gone for 11. England 129 for 7.
Oh yeah, I'm going to do it flat.
Jofra Archer in at 9. England in trouble. 129 for 7. Run rates come down. Some spectacular catches in the field. South Africa right at top here in Karachi. Wonderful stand between Joe Root and Harry Brook, 62. Then 3 for 15 is what England lost. Now with the wickets of Overton, Archer comes in the 26th over, far too early for him. Real partnerships aside from the Root-Brook partnership, from Pollock and Dale staying alongside.
Yeah, what a grab by Lungi Ngidi. Which at this stage thought, no, that's going to land safely. Rabada wasn't convinced, and eventually it's just the left paw that he grabs it with and then holds on as his elbow hits the ground. Brilliant from Ngidi. The reaction from his teammates, they know how good that was.
About this being a really good surface to bat on. Both games here in Karachi yielded over 300. The team batting first. South Africa got 315 against Afghanistan. New Zealand got 320 against Pakistan. But both those innings dotted with strong partnerships, and that's what England have missed today.
Yeah, and Ngidi being a fan of the NFL too, this is a, look at that. Quarterback through it. In the end zone, bang. Touchdown. Ngidi.
We'll go with mid-on wide receiver.
What's gone wrong here for England today? Let's just talk about today, Paul, not the entire campaign. 129 for 7. The 5. Sorry, isn't it? Matches. Average is 28 against Finn.
Yeah, part of that has got to do with the series India and the not so distant past. I suppose it's good to look at it and say, okay, small sample size, it's only the 18 matches, but still significant enough to show some concern.
You are having a look at the surface. What has gone wrong with England's batting today?
Yeah, I think if we look at the first 2 wickets, it was kind of donations from balls that bounced steeply from Jansen. And then their 2 stalwarts in Duckett and Root, we thought would just carry on their merry way and continue to compile runs like they have so far in the tournament. And once they didn't contribute, then all of a sudden there's not much confidence beaming through in that batting line. And 131 for 7, I don't think that's what this pitch deserves.
3 wickets in that opening power play really set England back. And the partnership between Brook and Root really looked to stabilise the innings. Another middle order collapse, 3 for 15. South Africa, as you mentioned, holding on to their catches. So 131 for 7 England. Raj too, he's been brilliant, hasn't he? Spent a year out of the game, has come back and has really found some good rhythm. Three from the over, 132 for 7.
Hungry Jack's Carolina range. Try Whopper with flame grilled beef, sizzling bacon, tangy Carolina sauce, and crispy onions. Or Jack's fried chicken Carolina. The burgers are better at Hungry Jack's.
Sauron is not armies, but dreams.
Fight with me. Fight with our friends!
Just confirmation of how well Keshav Maharaj has done. A year out of the game, he's come storming back, bowling rankings in ODI cricket.
Sometimes he's the unsung hero for South Africa. You know, he just goes about his job, comes in those middle overs, bowls really well. I think there's been a no ball here by Kagiso Rabada, and he's getting some information in our ear, and there's the confirmation. So Jofra Archer, he'll be very appreciative of the fact that he can unleash those arms. It's actually comfortably over.
It's been tight for a long time now, has KG. I think in the test match not too long ago, South Africa bowled a lot of no balls. They fixed that come SA20 time. It was pretty good, but just being a little naughty today and overstepping.
First time in ODI cricket, Jofra Archer's batting in this period of the game usually comes in the last 10. He's got a free hit now.
Yeah, change of structure. They can change the field. Lots of protection leg side for South Africa. I think that one's hurt, Cass. That was sore. Yeah, hit him hard. I think it might have been an inside edge involved, but hit him hard on the foot.
That tells the story of England's innings. Just the Brook-Root partnership of 62. South Africa just chipped in with wickets all the way through. Overton, the last wicket to go. Excellent catch by Ngidi.
flew like a gazelle, didn't he? And then he turned, charged, put out the left paw. And brilliant from the South African pacer.
That's hunted away for 4. A wonderful shot from Jofra Archer, much needed from England.
Yeah, I think he's thinking, Jofra Archer, I missed out on a free hit and it hurt my foot, and I'm going to teach you what I should have done to that free hit. Because in the context of the game, still 23 overs to go. It's a bit of a surprise, kind of just clears that front foot out the way. Good contact over the short mid wicket and away for a boundary. Talking about Lungi, we were on his case a little bit earlier on in the day, so he definitely gets the most improved award. Have a look at this. He didn't move at all. That was the ball that went away to the fence. He stood his ground, didn't move 1 meter, never mind 15 to take a catch. Should have been in position and then only started to move. And then we follow on, and boy, oh boy, he moves quickly here. Turned around, charged, left hand out. Brilliant take. Most improved.
Nicely guided away, and that will be 4. He's got a foot there. I'm going to have a look at the boundary check.
He's been good down there, hasn't he, Marco Jansen? He moved earlier to take a brilliant catch off Keshav Maharaj, and I think they're about size 14 or 15. So if you're going to put something down as Marco Jansen, the right boot isn't the bad option. Let's have a look if he got it right. Oh, does he touch the ball before it hits the cushion? We'll have to maybe slow that down.
Say he couldn't put a foot wrong, but he did an excellent job to try to get to it. Marco Jansen is having a wonderful game. Got 3 for 29 in 5 overs. Wonderful running catch too.
Yeah.
End of 28 overs, 145 for 7 England. Group game here at the National Stadium in Karachi. 22 overs to go for England. Gifted score 258 at this current rate. Looking for much more than that. Jofra Archer hang around Josh Butler and get a good partnership going.
Comfortably the best over of the innings. More of anything else that's been on display, but you can see how often the wickets have gone down, and that's been the problem for England.
Haraj now, his 8th over. Excellent in these middle overs. Chatting to Jamie Overton today, he's been saying, yes, we want to play for Josh Butler. Information of umpire today, Rod Tucker. And Raza. Yeah, the standing umpire. How tough is it to get up for a game like this?
It can be. It's obviously, you've got that danger of your head being on the plane, heading back. You know that even if you win, it means nothing. You can't go on in the tournament. And everyone would have talked about wanting to put on a good display for Josh Butler in his last game as captain, but he never was able to reach those heights. And once things don't go according to plan, that's often when it falls apart, because your mind's in it and you want to play and you want to do as well as you can, but once you kind of see that your team's not performing like they can, it can be difficult.
South Africa's perspective, they're missing both Themba Bavuma and Tony De Zorzi today. Done well. Stubbs and Klaasen coming into the playing 11.
Yeah, excited to watch Stubbs as an opening batter. He's an aggressive batter, big guy, also commands his space at the crease a little bit, does bat 3 in the test matches for South Africa, so not unfamiliar with facing a new ball. Wouldn't surprise me if he stands at the non-strikers end for a couple. Let's Ryan Rickleton take the first ball. See how he goes from there.
Stifled appeal. 2 from the over. 29 gone. 147 for 7. Confirmation of the playing 11 today. No Bavuma, no Dazorzi, but good to see Heinrich Klaassen back to full fitness.
I had to chat to Heinrich Klaassen because when he was missing, I thought it was to do with a finger. He came out for the tri series and got an 80 and then came out with the gloves and got hit on the finger and was badly bruised. He went off. It's going to head down to Janssen. He was telling me how he's actually been in a bit of agony at times, and like for 2 or 3 minutes he's been unable to even close his hand with the soft tissue injury. It's not like a tennis elbow, it's in a different area, but he's feeling pretty comfortable now that it's kind of on the mend and should be good to go.
Very complimentary of how the batting unit has gone, especially that opening game against Afghanistan. Big old swing and a miss from Jofra Archer. That tells a story, doesn't it? It's just gone absolutely pear-shaped for England. So Root was looking good. It was a great partnership. Yeah. Deep breath in.
This is a good little battle this between KG and Archer. Very rarely do you see a tail-ending fast bowler come in so early where he now has to face the opposition quick with lots of time, and now he has to bat. KG has an opportunity to bowl a couple bounces, and we see that a lot in test matches where the bowlers had to come out and bat and face the second new ball poly because the batters are a little bit nervous and scared.
There's the leg cutter that KG's been on. I'm waiting to see the bouncer here. It doesn't look like it's going to come because there's no fine leg back in place, and he might be thinking rather slow ball, and Archer keeps swinging at it.
Isn't that old conversation between fast bowlers? England know they're out now. South Africa probably going to go through. KG's like, I don't bounce you, you don't bounce me. Keep the body safe for what's to come.
Midfield. And that's racing away to the boundary for 4. Brings up the England 150, 153 for 7.
I think he picked it up because he almost looked like he went with his foot first at Corbin Bosch at short wicket. His son's field, so I'm quite sure, but it was nicely struck. He put his foot out, his hand was kind of in the region, but it was almost like trying to be like a hockey goalkeeper, a combination of foot and hand.
Decent little partnership building here, 24 from 27. Archer's come up with big intent. He's swinging at everything.
Now the fast bowlers hit him. It looks a little bit sore. Archer showing, just grimacing a little bit over there.
A sore toe and a sore arm.
He's got both the sore toe and the sore arm, as Polly has alluded to. No fast bowler likes to be pulled and hit for 4. Bardo said, I'm coming back at you. He's rushed him. He's hit him, and that's going to hurt.
Dot ball to end the 30th over. England 153 for 7.
They are the next generation of native Hawaiian surfing. All the hard work and dedication you put in, comes to these moments. I'm going for the gold, got the world on my shoulders.
Welcome to America, partner.
It's Pradeeps. We're the Pradeeps.
You the new Indians on the block?
Maybe you can be Christians too.
We need to go back to India. We've only been here 2 days. To a briefly kind of South Africa weren't great in overs 1 to 10. There was a lot of deliveries that were misguided heading down the leg side, free pickouts for Duckett in particular.
Excellent key strike and good fielding on the boundary by Tristan Stubbs. Hearing from the South African team, Aiden Markram is experiencing discomfort in his right hamstring. He will not field for the remainder of the innings, will bat if required, and Clarkson has taken over the captaincy for the rest of the match. Well, disappointing from a South African perspective because to take over the captaincy of Temba Bavuma, he is sick and not able to play in today's game. It's him in picture up in the change room. Wonderful spell of bowling this from Keshav Maharaj. Now he's over 2 for 35. Atlas faced 31 balls for his 17. Slowly building alongside Archer. In the 31 overs, England 157 for 7. Time for drinks in Karachi.
Hungry Jack's Carolina range. Try Whopper with flame grilled beef, sizzling bacon, tangy Carolina sauce, and crispy onions. Or Jack's Fried Chicken Carolina. The burgers are better at Hungry Jack's.
We are back in the office full time.
The perks are coming to work. Riling up Lizzie. My crow's name is Russell.
How are you, mate?
No.
This is a HR nightmare.
What are you up to?
Just about to double our network.
Wow. Double coverage activated. 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 Now we've doubled the network coverage. Make your move to Vodafone.
1, 2, 3,
I'm a little worried about Carrie and Tim. They don't look at each other the same way anymore. Tim is in love with another woman. Forgiveness happens once. Healing takes a lifetime. I'm so scared. You're not alone. We're your family. The Cooper born. What do you feel? It's called obsession. Cooper, inspiring from Barcelona. You still owe a balance on this semester. I can give you 2 weeks.
But what's that about making some money?
The wrong and get a job, cheap place to live.
They said there was a job included. Here's a question those Ivy League coaches never get. 9 seconds under the course record. Olympic year this year. Olympic year? I didn't realize. Boys, that boat. Sorry, guy. Won't lay it down, coach.
The Americans have the 1996 Olympics.
Show 'em what I already know.
Sending money beyond your home ground? Whether it's for the folks back home, making that dream purchase. Special offers for new online customers. Wherever you're sending money, send it with Western Union.
31 overs gone, 157 for 7 England. Time now to reflect on another champion performance.
ball, and the finger's gone up. Another simple catch. He's having a good time at the moment, Parnell.
5 now from Wayne Parnell. New Zealand all out for 214. 2009 and Centurion. South Africa chased that down with 5 wickets in hand. The de Villiers top scoring that beat 70. Marco Jansen back 3 for 29 in his 5 overs.
Just have a feeling with Marco Jansen coming back, or these pace and bounce, that Archer might say, I'm not going to hang around for this. He's dropped a deep mid-wicket to a cow, and it's a position that picks up a lot of wickets for Marco Jansen. Batters trying to force it, they get big on them, and they get caught in the boundary out there.
Sure, the top order batters were done with the extra bounce, maybe looking to do Archer as well. Tell you what, we've got an unbelievable crew downstairs. Markham goes off the field, and we have to work out exactly where did the injury come. That was the moment before he went off. Just diving and cutting that one off, was maybe we just twinged the hamstring a touch. Might be more precautionary than too serious.
Travel tomorrow and then wait for that final group game to finish to decide whether they play in Dubai and Lahore. Semi-finals 4th and 5th of March. And Markham just off the field. Precaution, class and captaining. Staying with a wry smile on his face in commentary.
Yeah, it's an area that Marco Jansen's worked hard on. His second spell, when he comes back, he tends to be a little bit too full and floats the ball up. One thing that he's tried to do lately is really bang it in, bowl a couple bounces to get himself going, get the energy going again in his body. He's a fast bowler. He's bowled 5 overs, waited in the field for a while, and now he's got to come back and he's got to try and replicate what he did earlier today.
18 fours and a 6 in this England innings, but have a look at that run rate. It's gone down to under 5. Partnership 30 from 40 deliveries. Two from the over, 159 for 7.
Please like, subscribe my channel. Please like and share with no friends.
Combination of the semi-finals and the final. First one in Dubai on the 4th, or on the 5th, and the final on the 9th. Short, sharp tournament. Teams that have started well have found themselves in the semi-finals. India, New Zealand, Australia already qualified for the last 4. Final over for Maharaj. He's been brilliant today. 2 for 35.
He has been good. There's the innings 8 minutes behind, so they'll have to maybe push on through the other problem. I thought about maybe giving Aidan Markram an over or 2. He's a decent off spinner, but he'll be unable to contribute from a bowling perspective today.
Tristan Stubbs not the worst off spinner. Look for him behind.
Almost carries Turan Rickleton in short cover. That one's really tossed up Keshav Maharaj. His slow delivery. 2 billers have been in the 80s. That one's 74 kilometers per hour. Giving some air again.
Made an hour. What a ball.
Spinner loves to get to this part of his overs. He just feels like, all right, I've done my job. 2 for 35, 1 ball to go. Do I toss it up, give myself a chance to get another one, or do I do a job and just fire it in? 2 for 36, walk away.
I think if it was Archer on strike, he might have fancied himself to toss it up and try and buy a wicket with his last one. But a brilliant over. Maiden to complete it from Maharaj. 2 for 35, his figures.
Sending money beyond your home ground, whether it's for the folks back home, making that dream purchase. Special offers for new online customers. Wherever you're sending money, send it with Western Union.
We are back in the office full time. The perks are coming to work. Riling up Lizzie. My crow's name is Russell. How are you, mate? No.
This is a HR nightmare.
Jansen again. Archer is flipping that down towards fine leg. He's hit it pretty well, but won't go for 4, just come back for a couple. Okay, Jansen's a very good stay with figures of 3 for 33 from his 6 overs and 1 ball. Flight and guile, backed up brilliantly on this occasion by Jansen in the deep to get rid of Harry Brook. Clever bit of flight and guile to deceive the advancing Livingstone. 10 overs, 2 for 35 with 1 maiden bowling straight through. Great control, subtle variations, highly skilled.
It's about the perfect situation for him, wasn't it? Coming on the back of those 3 early wickets in the power play. Pitch just holding for him a fraction. Against the team, very low on confidence. And of course, he's a beautiful bowler. Exploited that context and those conditions perfectly.
Slowing the pace, slowing up the pace. Then the next challenge is to drop the ball in that good length area because you can't bowl it short, can't sort of over pitch it. And like Santner, he's pretty good at finding his range when he's slackening the pace. Outstanding stuff. Allows him to pick up wickets as well.
Well, they didn't marker off the field. The sore hamstring. That's the end of spin in this innings from South Africa. They're a distance behind the over rate. Worry them too much, given that England 162 for 7, but been a bit slow. Change of field. Third man comes up. Mid-off is now back. Mid-on is now back. Deep mid-wicket. Man sort of on the hook really with a short fine leg, which is giddy. Ball that one again.
Chatted to the chap, I'm afraid I don't know his name actually, the very nice chap who seems to be the head groundsman for all the pitches around, and he was telling me that a couple of pitches here in Karachi and one in Lahore have been imported with, or have imported Australian soil or clay. Am I right in thinking that was something that happened to your watch as chairman, Rambo?
Yes, exactly. So this pitch is a soil of Western Australia. And it took about a year and a half really to firm it up. And so I'm so happy that at least some experimentation has taken place because we were getting absolutely run down or sort of criticized so heavily by the pundit for producing flat tracks, and I had to think quickly what to do because I had no idea how the surfaces had become. So much of cricket was played 2-3 years. Stadiums, that's gone over the 3%. He's going at a good pace, Archer.
कभी भी रोल प्ले का
167%.
ये जितना फूल लगेगा ना और टोपी का साइज लगेगा तेरे साथ ज़्यादा पैसा नहीं लगेगा ये 1400 सारा फूल लगेगा इसके ऊपर
Go slow from England in the last 36 deliveries with just 22 runs coming off this Australian soil pitch here in Karachi. Last delivery of the previous over, little glove took it over the keeper's head and away for 4 for England and Jofra Archer. All right in saying though the soil, the clay that they had at the Wacker, they sort of found in like a riverbed. Is that the stuff you're talking about importing? I mean, it didn't come in on like a pre-made slab as we associate with drop-in pitch.
No, it's not a drop-in pitch, but just a soil imported from Australia. Took a lot of time getting here, I remember, because we sort of ordered it 6 months into my chairmanship, and so when I was off, it was still hasn't arrived. So it arrived later. So they've got a couple of strips in Lahore and a couple made here. Then they've got one done in Lahore Academy as well. So let's see whether it improves the overall standard of cricket, because as we all know and believe that pitches can contribute a great deal in making of cricketers and players.
Was that more with test match cricket in mind, though, or all cricket?
Just to give them variety, actually, because there's so much of sameness regarding the square here that, you know, you can sort of be blindfolded, yet get 100 on some of these pitches. I mean, they're so easy to bat on. So something for example, high bounce before going to Australia, you have your last few first-class matches on a surface like this to get acclimatized to what will transpire in Australia. Something on those lines, you know, adjust your line and length, how good certain batsmen are against short pitch bowling, for example. It's about playing pace, it's about playing spin also. Spinners also enjoy a bit of bounce as well.
Sounded like it might have hit Joss Butler on the helmet or maybe the grill. If it has, we will have to stop for a concussion test. Thankfully he's okay, even though he's grimacing. Maybe it didn't hit him on the head because I'm not seeing movement from the medical team. Cutter into the pitch. No, I think just glove, bottom hand maybe. Things aren't going Joss Butler's way. Maybe the toe of the bat actually. Sounded like a clunk. Imagine his brain might be slightly scrambled at.
Well, I think it has been. Whether the decision that he made yesterday provided him with an immediate relief and release, I should imagine. I know I asked him at the toss about the conflicting emotions he felt this morning when he woke up. Part disappointment and sadness, but also part relief. But I think that relief will come quickly. And the hope is that he can rediscover his best form, because that, as much as the results in the last couple of years would have been part of the decision, his decline in form, average lower, strike rate lower, just not being the destructive player that we know he can be over the last couple of years. Average 36 as captain, but over the last couple of years that's down to 27, and the strike rate dropping quite significantly.
Good catch, another good catch from South Africa. And it's that man Jansen again. That's his second terrific catch in the outfield. One at long on, that at mid-wicket. Archer trudges off. England 8 down.
Well, it helps when you're 6 foot plenty and they've got long arms. Being a big man, he's actually athletic as well. He did well to get down, move smartly to his left. Very different type of a catch from the earlier Skyer he took in the deep, but still a very good one. Jofra Archer actually looked in pretty good touch with the bat. He's had too much opportunity with the bat in this tournament. 25 from 31, 171 for 8.
Batting at number 10 for England is Adil Rashid, and he's coming in the 35th over. Tells the story as well as 17148. Ian Mulder taking the wicket of Jofra Archer, who, as Michael said, had looked reasonable. In far too early, as is Adil Rashid, to another excellent outfield catch from Marco Jensen.
It's more like a score on an Australian strip, 171 for 8.
8 for 171 if you're talking about Australia.
Correct. Great catch this. He had to react very quickly. He's pretty tall, get low in an instant. It would have been difficult.
171 for 8. Not a pretty scorecard for England. There was a time when Root and Harry Brook were at the crease that a rebuild job was on, and then Brook was dismissed to an excellent catch off the spin of Maharaj. Root was castled, and it's just stuttered along to the 35th over. Here's Ngidi. Butler still can't find his timing. He's going to try and come back for 2, can't.
Butler's case, would you want time off or would you want to continue to play? I mean, in this scenario where you've been sort of hurt emotionally, what do you want to do?
I think England were thrilled or relieved yesterday that, he absolutely made it plain that he wants to carry on as a white ball player. 50 over and T20 cricket, because as you know these days, when you get to that kind of age, 34, if you get relieved of the captaincy or step down from the captaincy, there are so many temptations now with franchise cricket, and of course he'll continue to play some of that in IPL, SA20, whatever, but he sounded committed to play for England. So the next 50 over World Cup is in 2027. Butler will be 36. He should be young enough, and hopefully, if he can discover his best touch, should be an absolutely key part of England's team in that competition.
Chipped it to mid-off. At no point really had Butler really timed the ball like we know he can, but he's timed that one all right, but he's hit it straight at mid-off, a skimmer. England imploding, 9 down.
I don't know whether it was a slow ball because Ngidi bowls a great slow delivery. Harmless delivery.
And a very good catch at mid-off. No problem whatsoever. England continue to disappoint. 9 down. Captain is done for 21 of 43. 173 for 9.
Down now. England for 173. Yes, slow. The surface, some difficulty, but not batting their overs. Just hasn't gone according to plan. I suppose, as you look at it, actually, you'd say it's kind of the way the tournament has gone for them, England. Here's Saqib Mahmood.
Before the game, we were reading this as a 300, at least a 300-run pitch. Because it has played quite truly. It's just that England's mindset probably is not there. And, you know, this game is, yes, about technique and also about discipline and how much you want it.
On the other side of that is South Africa, who haven't really been at their best, to be fair, and yet they'll take it. 100 wickets for Lungi Ngidi. So good at the front when he turned up with that new ball. Just provided wickets for his captain all the time. Very potent force. Formed a fantastic partnership with Kagiso Rabada. And then over time, actually, it's been a lot of the time off the field, bouts of injury spells that keep him out the team. And in the process, there have been others that have turned up. There you go, there's something he's showing there, which is take the pace off. He's so good at doing that. Changing pace and a whole lot of variation, whether it's up at the front or at the back end of the game. Nicely nudged. Is single to end. 174 for 9.
You make people believe in something. They don't see someone who's missing a leg. They see someone who's unstoppable.
Hungry Jack's Mega Feast. Mega value. 2 Whopper cheese, 2 cheeseburgers, 2 chicken royale, 4 small chips, 4 small drinks, plus 3 chicken tenders for only $39.95. Only at Hungry Jack's.
21 of 43. Just Butler. And then he's ready to score 20. That's the second lowest strike rate for him in ODIs. It's just not a Butler innings, is it?
Very unlike Butler. Somehow he wanted to bat at number 6 for England. And it hasn't really worked because I think he's a much better player who can absolutely take on any world-class bowling, especially in subcontinent conditions. Talk of change of pace from Ngidi, it's not that he completely brings it down to 0. There is subtle variation from 137 to 132, 135. That's good enough.
And he'll tell us that it is intentional. But over the course of his career, as you watch him, sometimes you just feel it's a case of not quite hitting the action absolutely spot on. he does possess those changes of pace, but the changes you're talking about, which are so subtle and can be deceptive for batters, is where the action doesn't quite, ball doesn't quite come out as optimal, and he doesn't quite stand up, doesn't quite get through, and so it's 135, 138, 132, and then comes that slower ball, which will be in the 120s. And for the limited overs game, it serves him really well. And what he's been able to control is his length and lines and an understanding of what situation requires at the time.
Yeah, difficult to come and bowl in the middle phase of the innings because you've got to be smart. You've got to assess the situation and then you've got to adapt. It's always about what the batsman is trying to do and you've got to be smarter than him. This should give South Africa a lot of confidence and a bowling high. Because they've earned this. They want to go into the semi-final with such a high. Not having your best 11 and still being able to produce such a bowling performance is very impressive.
Nearly chips it to that man in that cover. Just the one off the over to 175 for 9. As a collective, they'll be very happy. Wickets for everybody in the attack. There's that slow ball. As a group, you want to get it together. Bowling group. To bowl first here, Marco Jansen leading well with the new ball, utilizing that bounce. 3 for 39 from his 7. And it's all about that bounce. Pace taken off there. A good catch. That 3-fer. He's right up at the top. In terms of points in the fantasy game, he's got a couple of catches too. Having a good day out.
The other quality is that he bowls within the stumps. The earlier spell wasn't such a great one. Bowled a lot on the pads, but he settled into his normal rhythm and style. His temperament seems to be rock solid as well, Tommy.
Yeah, been around a while. I mean, we're just announcing that he's got to 100 wickets in one-day internationals, and yeah, 66 one-day international. And I mentioned about injury and sort of being off the field, and you can kind of double the number of games, in that he'd have been around and in the setup for a long time.
Channel.
And as you look through South Africa's bowling lineup, there is quite a bit of experience, and so
Don't
that temperament
forget
you
my
talk of
chat,
is important
like
coming into this
and
latter part
subscribe
of the
channel.
tournament. You don't want players who are going to be phased by occasion or situation. Need them to be able to still get clarity and come to a calculated decision as to what they need to do in the circumstances. And you do that better the more experience you have.
He's got a good one in Rabada also. Feed off his genius. Very impressive numbers. Strike rate of 30.
Nicely nudged. Decent timing on that. Over Bosch doing the fielding down at long leg. 179 for 9. Mulder, 2 for 25 for him. I like how it's come together, the South Africa side, and I was saying earlier, and I was sitting with Wardy and At, that in the bilaterals, with so much on the calendar, teams, unless they're going towards an actual tournament, are not going to play their first 11, and so the group doesn't get together, as it were, as they try and figure out who they can infuse into the main side. Something on there, a little edge. And Brian Mulder gets a third. England bowled out for 179. And so South Africa make it through by virtue of bowling them out for just 179. Into the semi-finals. It's the lowest total in the Champions Trophy this year. Yeah, great work all round. Look at the final wicket to fall. And Mulder continues to improve. A little bit of reverse, you see a few scratches on that ball. And it just seems to go away there from Adil Rashid. Little feather, and it's through to Heinrich Klaassen, who makes absolutely no mistake. He'll be lit up by the bowlers who've done a top job.
Yeah, England blown away for 179 on what appeared to be a beautiful batting surface. More to do with their mental condition at this stage, down and out of the tournament, and just not up today against South Africa, who bowled brilliantly. Got to say, they swung the ball, they seamed it, the fielding was outstanding, some great catches, and in the end, a very good result to keep England to just 179. Right, 179 all out. England 37 from Root. Butler 21 and 25 from Archer. Duckett looked dangerous for his 24. But wickets kept on falling, and in the end it was a race against time for England. Johnson 3 for 39 was outstanding with the new ball. Bounced out a couple of batsmen, one apiece for Ngidi, Rabada, 3 for Mulder, and Maharaj bowled beautifully, spun the ball, he picked up 2.
Yeah, excellent work. And look at the way that it's gone. This innings.
It started all right, except losing too many wickets, and then continued to lose them. South Africa happy. Down now to Mike Hackett.
Keshav bowling England out for 179. How would you evaluate South Africa's performance in the field there?
Yeah, I think we were quite brilliant in terms of our execution and the plans that we put into place. A little bit sloppy in the field, if you're honest, but we brought it back nicely with some brilliant catching.
And your own performance, 2 for 35 and bowling straight through?
Yeah, I was quite happy with the way I bowled today, but the foundation was set by the fast bowlers in Plunk and KG and Lungi up front, and Bessie did a stellar job from the other end, so it made my life a little bit easier to settle in.
I was going to ask that because spinners often in white ball cricket come on and you're under tremendous pressure. Nice to come on the back of those early wickets in the power play against the team, just a little bit low on confidence as well.
Yeah, very much so. We know the English batting side can really take the game away from you, so the foundation with the wickets that we took up front does allow the spinner to settle in a little bit easier and bowl with a little bit more flight and guile during the middle period. So, yeah, fortunate enough to have the frontline bowlers that we do have.
First wicket owed a lot to Marco Jansen in the deep, but how happy were you with the wicket of Liam Livingstone, a beautiful flighted delivery?
Yeah, on the first one with Plunk, took an amazing catch over there. We know Brookie is a dangerous player, and you give him a little bit of sort of flow in the middle, and he can really hurt you. So brilliant catch from there. And then, yeah, I think that the ball to Livy was a nice setup. It came out really nicely and sort of got the reward.
Well done today.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The show, South Africa, well, they bowled Afghanistan out, they've bowled England out now, so 20 wickets there. They'll be happy with that. They must come back and get to 180 to win this one, having already qualified for the semi.
To find out who joined the semi-finals. And a wicket in the first over. It is a replay of the first wicket.
What's his great ability to find the gap as well?
England 3 down. And he hit that hard.
Yeah, that's be really pleasing for a young man. Get rid of the dangerous Joe Root.
Gone. An excellent catch.
This is the Emirates Premium Economy seat. Economy. Perhaps they need to call it something else.
Hungry Jack's Carolina range. Try Whopper with flame grilled beef, sizzling bacon, tangy Carolina sauce, and crispy onions. Or Jack's Fried Chicken Carolina. The burgers are better at Hungry Jack's.
Fire TV has so many great recommendations.
Yeah, serves up the best options from all my apps in one place. It's like it knows what I want to watch before I do.
The orangutans have escaped the zoo! They're everywhere! Picture quality is amazing. So lifelike.
Yeah, you can search by genre, movie, actor.
Oh, that's gonna be it.
Alexa, show me the latest hit movies.
Sweet.
Get into more of what you're into with Fire TV.
1, 2, 3,
I'm a little worried about Carrie and Tim. They don't look at each other the same way anymore. Tim is in love with another woman. Forgiveness happens once. Healing takes a lifetime. I'm so scared. You're not alone. We're your family. What are you up to?
Just about to double our network.
Wow.
Double coverage activated. Double coverage activated. Double coverage activated.
Double coverage activated.
Double coverage activated.
Now we've doubled the network coverage. Make your move to Vodafone. Once you see it everywhere. The Cooper for mentor. What do you feel? It's called obsession. Cooper, inspiring from Barcelona.
Sending money beyond your home ground? Whether it's for the folks back home, making that dream purchase. Special offers for new online customers. Wherever you're sending money, send it with Western Union.
Marco Jansen, he's got the height, he's got the hunger, and he's had England hopping in the opening power play of this final Group B encounter here at the National Stadium in Karachi. 3 for 39 and 2 special catches. And a wonderful performance to help South Africa bowl England out for 179 after Jos Buttler won the toss and elected to bat first. A couple of starts for England's batters. Joe Root top scoring with 37, but just not enough partnership strung together. England all out in the 39th over for 179. Jansen 3 for 39, Mulder 3 for 25, Maharaj splendid 2 for 35 in 10. Wonderful all-round performance for South Africa in their final group game here in Karachi. Two legends alongside me in this mid-innings chat, Sean Pollock and Nasser Hussain. The news is South Africa have already qualified for the semi-finals, and unfortunately, Nas, having won the toss, England just weren't able to put enough runs on the board.
No, a side devoid of confidence. They've lost their last 6 games in this format. They're out of the tournament. Their captain is devoid of confidence. He's packing it in after this game. Repetitive nature of dismissals, opening bat, Phil Salt plays a pull shot straight up in the air. Then, people come in and repeat that sort of error. So it was poor from England. And the thing I'd say about it is that it wasn't that South Africa were their absolute best. There were a lot of wides and a few misfields. But England, there you go. Same shot. One caught mid-wicket, one caught mid-on. Then there was a bit of a partnership. Duckett with the leading edge. It's a little bit more bounce on this pitch than they may be used to in Lahore. But then another partnership between the two Yorkshiremen, Brook and Root. That's a brilliant catch. But Brook could have just soaked it up for that little bit longer. Root playing across one that just came in on the angle. Livingstone having a big hack and playing across one. Done in the flight and dip. It's just a catalogue of errors, really. At times they were good in the field. South Africa, and sort of shows that there's nothing wrong with the surface. If Jofra can bat like that, Buttler just no nick, and then Rashid nicking one at the end there. So, like I say, side completely devoid of confidence. It strikes me more like a 279 pitch than a 179 pitch.
I think from South Africa's perspective, they heard into with Maharaj, and he said, well, they thought they did the area as well. But I don't think they did. Initially in those first 10 overs, as Nas touched on, there was a lot of loose deliveries that they dished up, and it wasn't their most tightest, most disciplined bowling performance. I think they got the bonus of those 3 wickets that happened quickly, and Marco Jansen was probably the key. But I was desperate for them to have an outing. After not playing against Australia, I thought they were going to be short of a gallop going forward in the tournament, and they needed an outing, and this wasn't polished. So they'll be better off for it. If we have a look at the first 10 overs, the boundaries that they offered up, it wasn't like there was even big shots having to play. That was in the first over. There was a couple of short and wides. But in key was actually to Duckett. I mean, he didn't have to think. Getting balls sliding onto leg stump, even going missing leg stump, and he just was able to pick them off at will, and that's why they got off to a fast start. Although they lost 3 wickets, I think they were almost 70 off that first 10 overs. And South Africa weren't at their best, so I think they'll definitely be better for this outing. And they've enjoyed the fact that everyone's picked up some wickets and they've been able to find a little bit of form as they head on into the tournament. But nowhere near what they can do, and they'll be hoping that they can keep that for the knockouts.
Opening game on the 21st of February, then no play. You could sense that in those first couple of overs.
Yeah, but it's a sign of a side that you're not at your best, and you're walking off, bowled out the opposition for 179. Look at Australia, they've not got their best players around in the bowling department, but they keep putting in a shift. Sometimes in cricket, you just got to dig deep. And I think sometimes you get a bit more pleasure out of the fact they're not being our best, but we're finding ways of getting wickets. So I've always liked Jansen as a cricketer, to be honest. I like the angle. It's something that England haven't had since they left Sam Curran out or Topley. I like him in the field. He's a good lower order batter, very good. So they've got a lot of all-rounders. They put in a pretty good performance there.
Marco Jansen, brilliant with the ball, but excellent in the field as well. It's moments of brilliance in the field that you're looking at, and not just in games like this, but in the crunch games to come.
Yeah, you're looking for all-round performances. You know, he could put a contribution in a game with the bat. We know what he can do with the ball. The height, the key. I don't think England adjusted from the skiddy pitch to Lahore to this one. You know, Ramiz Raja was talking about the Aussie soil. There's a bit more bounce in there. He often gets bounce. Brilliant in the field. The catch he took down there on the breeze was always going away from him. That was an exceptional catch.
Yeah, wonderful from South Africa bowling. England out for 179. If you missed the news earlier, Aidan Markram will not captain for the rest of the game. May not bat if not required, and Heinrich Klaassen will captain for the rest of the game. You heard Nasser talking about Australia being depleted with their bowling attack in this competition. Back in 2009, they were missing a couple of stars, but they went on to win the trophy in South Africa.
Coming into South Africa, you always want to be ready to play fast bowling. It's bounce, it's pace, and again, it was a tournament that was very well competed. Very few teams in world cricket have defended World Cups and Champions trophies. You got the feeling that Australia, again in the tournament, were a touch above others. Even though there was a new players, you know, you had the likes of Cameron White, Callum Ferguson, some young talent coming through.
The 2007 World Cup, my role in the team was batting at number 7, which I really enjoyed. But to be able to open the batting, which was my favourite position to be able to bat in the Champions Trophy, is something very special.
That's a big hit.
I started off the tournament quite shakily. I got out for the first ball duck against the West Indies. Kemo Roach got me out.
And look at another quick win.
So I had a few low scores to start with, but then, especially against England in the semi-final, that's when things really cranked up for me.
Short and pulled quite nicely by Watson. That's gone through. And that'll be 4. The runs really beginning to go quickly.
One of the most memorable partnerships I had in my career was in that semi-final against England. Ricky Ponting was one of my idols growing up, and we ended up putting on over 200 for that second wicket.
That is Ponting at his best. What a way to bring up his 100.
There was a number of times in the last probably 50 runs that we scored together. That was as satisfying a moment as I've had on the cricket field, especially against one of my foes in particular, Jimmy Anderson. That was a very satisfying time.
That's 100. For Shane Watson, he knew at the moment he struck the ball.
Out of there.
This is a win that Australia will save because it's been very, very well played. They've outplayed England. And Australia
What's that?
There was great news for the Aussie team before the toss when Dan Vettori pulled out of that final. He was always an adversary for the Australian team. He had a lot of success against Australia. Centurion's an incredible place to be able to bat. Wicket was fast and bouncy at altitude as well. The ball flies and it's got a big ground either.
He goes for it, gets the outside edge. Extra bounce here for Peter Settle. This is gone as well. Johnson gets his man. And he pulls the batsman with a full leg delivery. Big appeal and given. So Australia required 201.
So as you walk into the final, the one thing that you look forward to is how is Australia going to get past that spell of Bond? And up until then, Shane Bond had a very good record against Australia.
Should go. What a catch. Taylor takes the catch and Bond is struck. Oh, this is going to be very close. Finger goes up. Ponting's gone. That is the big scout for New Zealand. Now then, game on. No century from Ponting this time. No Ricky Ponting to command proceedings. He's on the way back.
Shane Watson's role at the top was to just bat through. I mean, he was an aggressive player. At times, it didn't get to him if he was naught off 8, 9, 10, 11 deliveries. He had the mental capacity to cope with that. You always felt with Watson at the crease, Australia was going to be in control. He was the key man.
Just a fraction short, and that has been muscled away. Can't ball there to Watson. Pulled away, and a great shot.
To be able to contribute like that But that's what you dream of being able to do, is be able to help your team, help your country, and stand up in a final.
Great shot. Cut away. Goes for the big one and 99 Watson with that hit. And now a great chance to get back-to-back hundreds in this Champions Trophy. Watson's moment to finish it off in style. He goes again. Consecutive sixes. So back-to-back hundreds here for Shane Watson. Australia win. And it's the Champions Trophy holders who come in again.
Incredibly rewarding and satisfying to be able to be there at the end as well. I know how much it meant to Ricky as well, because he captained Australia in one-day cricket from 2002, and there was a huge transition after that 2007 World Cup, so the team looked very different. Ricky sort of says that's one of the proudest moments that he had as a leader.
You think of all the players that they've lost, Gilchrist, Hayden, Ward, McGrath, so many players have left the team, but they're still there. Champions Trophy winners once again, Australia.
What is it about Australia and tournament cricket? And Shane Watson, 2 consecutive ducks to start the tournament and then decisive hundreds in that semi-final and final. Australia winning the 2009 Champions Trophy. England all out for 179 here. Is it the surface? Was it poor batting? Let's find out more now. Ramiz Raja is out in the middle.
Well, this clearly is not a 179 pitch because it looks in fine nick. So just one difference to the pitch that we saw in that first game when South Africa played against Afghanistan. It has spun more in the first innings. So from 2.4 degree angle turn, it's been 3.4 degrees angle turn. And that could be because it has lesser grass compared to that game that we saw just about 3-4 days back. The cracks have opened up as well, just ever so slightly for the spin bowler to grip the ball and tweak it just a little bit more. But otherwise, conditions look fantastic for batting. Still very, very good to look at, and nothing to alarm the South African batsmen.
Ramiz, thanks very much. No Temba Bavuma, no Tony DeZorzi, Tristan Stubbs opening. That should be interesting, Holly.
Yeah, never done it in list day cricket, so it's a real big call. I think they just wanted to try and keep the middle order in the same position that they could possibly do for the rest of the tournament. But for him at the top of the order, I think I'm looking forward to the challenge. Takes on Jofra Archer. I mean, that's a guy who can crank it up to 150, get some good movement through the air. So that's going to be his real challenge. But he's got time. He doesn't have to go at a rate of knots, and it's an opportunity to show what he's capable of. Nice surface, it looks like. I don't think there's any gremlins there. So interesting to see how he goes. More importantly, I think Klaasen coming back, I think he needs a bit of a hit as well, just to get him back into the run of things and make sure that he's ready for the knockouts.
England have brought in Saqib in place of Mark Wood. Would you have played Rehan Ahmed?
I would. I might have played both of them, actually. There's a balancing act here. England are out of the tournament. There's a lot of pride. Butler's last game, you want to win. But also you've got to balance that with the future has to start now. Had to start at 2 o'clock today. Keep an eye on. I'm not sure how much more white ball cricket Mark Wood will play, because England are now going to focus on an India home test series and also on the Ashes. So the likes of Saqib Mahmood and Rehan Ahmed. Rehan Ahmed made his test debut on this ground, got 7 wickets in the match, has got good memories. England best bowler for a mile by a long time has been Adil Rashid, and they need to have a backup to Adil Rashid, or even a future after Adil Rashid. And Rehan Ahmed, they've carried around India, they've carried around here, brought him into the squad, but again they've not played him. I'd have liked to seen him play.
South Africa have qualified already for the semi-finals. They get to play with some freedom now.
Yeah, I think Ryan Rickles at the top of the order has been kind of playing with freedom for the most of the season, and they don't want to flirt with form. They want to make sure that they get out there, still stick to their game plans and look to be as aggressive as they possibly can. But they're in a great space. They've qualified already. They're playing good cricket at the top of the order. A lot of their batters are on good touch, so I expect more of the same. As I say, the only unknown factor really will be what Tristan Stubbs is at the top.
Jos Buttler coming out for the final time as captain. We've spoken about the mixed emotions. It will be tough going.
It will be tough because this is your last. It won't be 50 overs. They'll either win in a hurry or lose in a hurry. He knows when he wakes up tomorrow in the hotel room, he will no longer be England white ball captain. He was emotional last night. He'll probably be very emotional walking off that field today.
Massive, Polly. Thanks very much. That's the equation. The target 180. South Africa looking to win this final group game here in Karachi.
Subscribe my channel.
Sending money beyond your home ground? Whether it's for the folks back home, making that dream purchase. Special offers for new online customers. Wherever you're sending money, send it with Western Union.
Welcome to America, partner.
It's Pradeeps. We are the Pradeeps.
You the new Indians on the block?
Maybe you can be Christians too.
We need to go back to India. We've only been here 2 days.
We are back in the office full time. The perks are coming to work. Riling up Lizzie. My crow's name is Russell. How are you, mate? No.
Nightmare.
Hungry Jack's Mega Feast. Mega value. 2 Whopper cheese, 2 cheeseburgers, 2 chicken royale, 4 small chips, 4 small drinks, plus 3 chicken tenders for only $39.95. Only at Hungry Jack's.
What are you up to?
Just about to double our network.
Wow. Double coverage activated. Return to route. Coverage activated. Now with double the network coverage, make your move to Vodafone. You make people believe in something. They don't see someone who's missing a leg. They see someone who's unstoppable. The Cooper Bar. What do you feel? It's called obsession. Cooper, inspiring from Barcelona.
Make 6 jets fly as one. That's the Blue Angel magic. This year we're bringing 5 new people into this team. Something I never thought was going to happen.
It's 1 in a million.
When you're flying 12 inches apart, everybody's lives are in each other's hands. The jets just kind of freeze, and the world around you seems to spin. I just pinch myself when I get a chance to be part of it.
With all these things that I've done.
Hello and welcome back to Karachi. It's a bustling city. Provide 90% of financial support to the rest of the Pakistani cities and government. Well, England away for 179. South Africa have entered the semi-final stage. Some nice architecture around the stadium. South Africa taking on England. The last game just been played here at the National Bank National Stadium, Karachi. I've got Tommy Mbangwa here with me to share the scalps.
Yeah, and South Africa would have been very happy with these scalps. Early doors, you want to make sure that in that power play you're taking wickets. It was all Marco Jansen. 3 for. And the start for England, not a good one. Yes, some runs scored, but once those 3 wickets went down, things slowed down drastically. And in a quest to form some sort of partnerships, well, they didn't succeed. One that threatened, and then once again, it was a capitulation. Catches taken. Yes, early doors they dropped a few, but some fantastic catching. Giddy there. Marco Jansen with a second one on the day. Comfortable that as it goes to mid-off, and then this through to the keeper, and that was all out 179.
Yeah, South Africa picked up the standard in the field. 3 or 4 absolutely outstanding catches. Jansen started the show for South Africa with 3 wickets, and then the fun continued for the rest of the cast. England 179 all out in 38.2 overs. Not a lot of partnerships though. I think that was a problematic area because critical.
Yeah, 62 was the only one, and it threatened, and it was very much after the initial breakthroughs for South Africa and was needed. And with Brook and Root going quite nicely, the hope was that they would take it really deep. But the potency of this attack managed to create a chance. Once they opened that one end, then they ran through England. And someone alongside would have been particularly happy with seeing that. Dale Steyn.
Yeah, the South Africans were really good today. Janssen started off with Marco Janssen, picked up 3 early. But this catch by Marco Janssen covered quite a lot of yardage over there. It shows what a true athlete he is. For a tall man, real athlete, great hands. They bowled fantastically well too.
In the backdrop, actually, you could see the batsmen run for one. It was, I mean, for such a long time the ball was in the air, for them to complete a single. So, I mean, really was an outstanding athletic work there from Marco Janssen.
Stands in the gully, is able from that height to get down left and right, covers a lot of ground because of his wingspan. Really is a fabulous asset to the South African side.
This shouldn't be difficult for South Africa. Aiden Markram is not available to bat. We're here, so even then 180 from 50 overs on a pitch, which I studied at the break, still got a lot to offer from batting perspective.
Yeah, so there's already been some juggling with Bavuma unwell, Dazorzi unwell, and not a problem, you would have said, with them coming into the game, with Markram having to take over as captain and also Klaasen into the side and Stubbs into the side. It's not what they went with in game number 1, and perhaps not what they'd have gone with in game 2, but needs must. And for the first time in List A cricket, Tristan Stubbs will open the batting. I would have thought it might have been Markram who had got to the top of the order. Van der Dussen, maybe they want to keep it at 3 and 4, just in a quest to kind of plug holes. A nicely balanced team, an experienced team though, South Africa, and able to kind of mix and match and still have what is a good balance.
Markram's still down to bat at 4. I think South Africa want to keep what would have been their original batting lineup, not to mess with it. If Temba Bavuma was fit, he would slot in there as the opening batter, and that's how they would play throughout the competition. So not to mix with the way that they would go about things, but Tristan Stubbs being a number 3 in Test match cricket, so he's not unfamiliar with facing the new balls. He's standing at the non-striker's end, which means that essentially South Africa could lose a wicket, and it wouldn't make much difference to him.
Archer can bowl at pace. Slip in place, a short cover, the 2 catching positions. Here we go. Starts with a wide. And that's been kind of case in South Africa's first innings also with the ball. They were all over the shop, and then they settle into the act.
I'm interested to see with how much energy the English bowlers come out the bowl tonight. Just with 180 on the board, potentially 1 foot on the plane already. There is still an opportunity for the guys to take some wickets and prove something. We'll see how they go.
Just like the other one, another wide.
Yeah, that 1 foot on the plane syndrome, it's real. You watch teams, and when there's not too much to gain, with such competitive individuals who want some jeopardy in any contest that they go into,
Missing the stumps down the leg side, strong appeal. England probably will not take the review.
Please share the video. Please, brother.
Angles around the wicket to the lefty. Get him sort of closer to the off stump rather than on the stumps, because if there's any distance to travel, it will carry on down that leg side. Those two before haven't gone down the leg side, likely, even in the correction, trying to stay on the stumps, then he'd be going in that direction.
Tries again, gets it wrong again. Sums up the mental sort of approach of England at this stage. They're out of the competition. It's very difficult to gee yourself up. Rise to the occasion.
Often in an illustration of this, you think of sides that play in 3-match series, and if they go 2-0 up and they've won, and you say, oh, they want to make it a whitewash, they're going to play as hard as they can, but in the back of their minds, the job is done. And so you might see a side that doesn't look quite the same to the 2 games that they played before. And so it does take a great deal when there is not so much nothing on the line, but effectively what's on the line is not going to move the needle.
Just the speed so far from Archer. That last ball was 100.